Yo, we back at it again.
Yes, sir.
This is D.
See what's going on?
It's just the guy behind the microphone.
That's all we're going to say.
It's got to be different. All right, what we got for today?
All righty. I think one of our first topics to talk about is OnlyFans. Do you think OnlyFans is driving the way our youth see opportunities and how it's changing them to push forth to be young people in college, going to college, going to high school, making a good name for yourself, whether if that's on social media or you go out there and make a name for yourself with a type of business, being an entrepreneur. But we see a lot of these young people on social media that get a nice amount of following, whether if that's on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever platform you're on. But then you get some of these couples on there or these young girls, and they get on there and say, hey, I got 5,000 subscribers, 10,000, or whatever the case may be. But at midnight, when I turn 18, I'm going to start me an OnlyFans.
Yeah. This ain't that chick. I don't know what her name was. It was something stupid.
Yeah, I'm not on OnlyFans.
But I'm still wondering what OnlyFans is it? What is it?
Oh, you can't sit here and say you don't know what OnlyFans. Oh my God. Okay, OnlyFans
yeah.
Oh, you just playing?
I was being stupid. I never.
No,
went,
it was a
I've
chick.
never been to.
I'm not paying for that. but it was I think I feel like what you kind of referenced a little bit was I don't remember what the girl's name was, but it was some girl that kind of went viral when she was a kid for doing something silly or something, and then she came back out, like at 17. Like her night, like the night that she was about to turn 18, and she was like, "Oh yeah, at 18, I'm dropping my OnlyFans or whatever." And then at midnight, she launched her OnlyFans, and immediately got like
a million
millions of subscribers or something.
Yeah, and like so,
But it's just like
so
she launched these at midnight when she turned 18. So
you already had content ready.
these pictures are of a 17-year-old,
yeah.
technically.
Well,
So
not only
it's just
that,
like-
if she already had people lining up, that's the scary part. Like
Yeah,
somebody's waiting for her so she could turn legal to see her butt naked.
Yeah, that's gross. But is your question in general just like?
Well, I guess
Who do you see?
the question
how do I look
is
at OnlyFans as a monetary opportunity?
well, it's you got the people that get the night following, whether if it's their friends from school or friends from college, and they get they build something on social media platform. But clearly, when they start their OnlyFans, they make like $1 million in 24 hours, and then all of a sudden, you got 50,000 subscribers on your OnlyFans, but on your Facebook and TikTok, you only got 5,000, 10,000. Your subscribers from your TikTok or your Facebook are not the same subscribers on your OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Typically you get these young Disney stars that come out here and they get a fan base, and some of these fan base be older men, at least for the women's side. But then you get that older guy that followed a young pretty girl that's whatever the case may be, she's on Disney, she got a social media platform, she got friends, she get likes, she get all that other stuff. But then as soon as you get on OnlyFans, these are grown men paying for your content.
I mean,
and they make like $1 million in 24 hours or $60,000 a week. But do you think it kind of ruins their reputation, or you think OnlyFans is pushing our young crowd to hurry up and make a quick buck early on as soon as you turn? Well, mainly towards the.
I mean, I don't think OnlyFans as a company is doing it, because it's like they
Well,
put
they're
a
not-
platform out there, and it's like, hey, you can either take advantage of it or not.
But I do need to say I'm not saying OnlyFans is pushing young kids to join their platform. That's not what I'm saying in the first place.
But like there's other content creators.
Yeah,
that's doing
I see other content creators that comes in and they see the opportunity of, I'm going to jump on this platform and make $50,000 in 1 hour, $1 million in one. I mean, we see it all the time. We seen the girl from the Bernie Mac show,
Oh yeah.
Vanessa. She came on TV and said,
Both
"Hey,
of them now.
yeah, both of them now." Like we seen both of them come out and say, "Hey, I ain't the Bernie Mac show checks ain't hitting."
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that entire game is something completely different anyway.
You gotta move in on the mic.
No, I was saying that game, the acting TV gigs, that's a different beast within itself. So the fact that they would not necessarily have to go to OnlyFans, but if they could use their fame,
has to. I think it's
it's a choice. But
choice.
it's still to them. That's how they were making their living, by being seen. So if this is the only other place that they can be seen and make money off of their celebrity, then hey, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But
I don't.
But do you think she could go back to the acting world after doing that? That's what I'm saying. Like, it kind of ruined their reputation early on. Although I don't know if she's getting roles or her manager or any of all that other stuff. But other people will see, hey, she said she made more money on OnlyFans in a week or 2 weeks than she made acting.
Kim Kardashian did it.
Yeah, but now she's trying to be a lawyer, right? She's trying to be a lawyer, right? And
I think that was a little bit different.
Well,
that was like
she wasn't on OnlyFans, but
that was a one-time leak. But I think with Kim Kardashian, her stardom is so powerful that people are, companies will be willing to look past, a tape that's 15 years old at this point.
But do you think? I think she failed her bar exam, but
well, I mean, she got a TV show out now.
Well, she makes money. But do you think?
TV show forever.
But do you think that idea over her head, if she became the lawyer?
Oh no, yeah, people would still hire. If she actually passed the bar exam and became people would hire her. Just because she's Kim Kardashian.
But now you got a pedestal to reach. Like, you Kim Kardashian, you can't go out there and lose these cases.
I don't think anybody would be expecting her to win, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, so it wouldn't be a big surprise.
Judge hit the thing. You doing 25 to life. They like, but I had Kim Kardashian.
And I doubt that she would ever be doing solo cases.
Who is your
would
lawyer,
always
Kim Kardashian?
She would always have a co-chair or something.
Yeah.
I highly doubt she would be.
Well,
especially if she, decides to take it serious in the beginning. But as far as just OnlyFans in general, I feel like in this very non-judgmental and liberal climate that we're in now, I don't really see it as having a serious effect on anybody's longevity.
I would agree to that.
Now I feel like it'll be a different question if you are questioning morality and or work ethic, and like how easy it is to just go and take some pictures. I'm not like, I've seen some chicks, like describe how difficult and how time consuming and amount of energy it takes to put into any type of content creation, and it's specifically that it's just like regular porn stars. So I'm like, I feel like it's a effort induced, effort needing thing, consuming thing, but it's just like
we doing here on YouTube.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, it's just like to choose to do that over, going out and finding a legitimate career path.
But it's the idea, like, you get these it's just the idea I can make $1 million in 24 hours. I mean, we've seen it, but then it's like, because I see some couples do it where they get online, they make a video and they address their family and they say, hey, this is what we doing for our family. We trying to make money. And there was a couple that I used to follow. They used to go in there and make like blogs and stuff, and then they talk, and then they, have these things in the background. They go to the store, they make jokes and all. They're
just doing vlogs,
and they're doing vlogs, and they have a nice following, and they just do like regular everyday stuff. But then they say, hey, we doing OnlyFans, and then now all of a sudden you making $60,000 a week. I believe that's what the couple said, but then eventually they stopped. The reason they stopped is because they had brand deals, and as soon as they started OnlyFans, and that quick, I think it was 3 months. I forgot this YouTube channel name, but it was 3 months.
Not renewing their brand deals.
Not renewing their brand deals, and they came out with a video, and they talking about, we are redirecting our stuff back to our, what got us here in the first place, like our YouTube channel, etc. But it's just stuff like that. You got brand deals involved, but
I mean, I don't really. I mean, make your money, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I ain't stopping you from making money.
I could see where the companies that they had contracts with would have disclosure. Well, in the contract where you couldn't
Could do certain things,
make their image look bad. So they probably saw it like that.
yeah,
All right,
I mean,
well,
everybody got they things that they want to allow their employees or representatives to do. Everybody got ethic standards.
That's it. Code of conduct. There we go.
Yeah.
hey, I know the code of conduct at my job don't say nothing about no OnlyFans.
Not yet.
I mean, as long as you don't be in the videos with your logo,
Right.
with your work logo on.
I know, right?
What can they really say? To be honest.
I'm not even gonna say what my job is, but
Nah.
all righty.
As long as, like I said, as long as you ain't got their logo on.
So, all right, let's get on to the next thing. Let's tackle the elephant in the room: food stamps.
Yeah.
What do you guys think? You think people out here are shooting themselves in the foot? I seen all the video that's going on online where people coming out saying, I got 6 kids, I get $4,000 a month in food stamps. The government got to pay us our money so we can eat. I don't want to work.
$4,000 in food stamps.
Man, it's a bunch of videos out there. These people are.
I've heard and seen some astronomical numbers on what some people get on their cars.
And it is insane because I look and I see people online saying, I don't want to work. I can't work. I can work, but I don't want to work. But they're recording this themselves, putting it online, and they're recording it with their new iPhone, sitting in their new 2025 Mercedes-Benz. And so many people are getting caught as well, where they got to go down to the office and explain to the administration why you driving around with a 2026 Mercedes-Benz and we giving you $4,000 a month. And there was a couple of people that came out and said, hey, they cut my benefits. They said I can't get my benefits back until I get rid of the car. But then, the car's in my name and I don't know why and all this other stuff. But do you think that's, you think people should be doing that, putting that information of how much money you're getting? And then, of course, so many people are driving around in nice cars. Louis Vuitton bag. They got the latest outfit and the latest gear. I'm not saying you should live your life a certain way while you're on food stamp, but
I mean, that's so I am fully aware that is a thing that happens.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also aware that in this climate that we're in right now, I've seen a lot of them videos and it's like, that's AI.
That too.
And
you
it's
are
just
right.
You
are right.
And
yes.
It's always
it's like a fear mongering push, but then some of them.
And it's just like people that want to make a certain type of person look a certain way.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
They
I was
create these to continue to encourage arguments and encourage just bashing on a particular type of person.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what videos that you've seen. I was like, but just knowing how the system works itself, it's like they've been gaming this since induction.
Yeah,
I was like, so do I know people that had nice shit and still had stamps? Like, yeah, a lot of times they would sell them and you need some food and they do the discount and take you shopping. So it's always been some type of scam element to it. And I think now they're just trying to cut down on it. But more importantly, what's happening now is this is all political, and they're just playing a real dangerous game because they're not really explaining it to the people that have the EBT as of what's going on, and all they see it is that they're cutting off my lifeline to food, and whoever is responsible for that has got to pay.
Definitely. I mean, it just.
I mean, it's I feel like they in the in the government playing a game of chicken, and the citizens are the only ones that are actually in the cars. It's like they playing chicken, but they got remote controls, and we the ones that's in the cars heading towards each other. So it's like, yeah, they don't have to steer out of the way last minute because they not in danger of, getting in a wreck. So they just sitting in the office going back and forth, bickering over, little minute details and refusing to, cooperate and refusing to come to some kind of a, some kind of a middle ground. And it's just like, and we're the ones that end up being the ones that's suffering from it.
And I think that's why, to me, it's like it comes off as such a scam, because there's no reason for this to be happening if each side is saying that they don't want to stop government or they don't want to hurt the people. The solution to it is so simple, but yet they're making it seem so difficult. And to me, that's a setup, because now they're going to drag this out quite possibly into Thanksgiving and who knows, maybe into Christmas. But when it's all said and done and they do turn it back on, whatever was the big issue or the cause of the problem, it's going to be minute compared to the damage that was done.
Yeah, because I'm like, as far as is the information that I've gotten to this point is basically over the healthcare situation.
Yep.
That's where they're reaching the stalemate. Like the Democrats don't want to allow the Republicans to cut, X amount and vice versa. So now it's just like they can't come to some kind of a middle ground of.
Yeah, they trying to go in there and make cuts while the government is closed down and do what they're trying to do, because the filibuster and everything that's going on and trying to hurry up and open up the government. I mean, if the people are, I don't see how the stock market hasn't crashed or other things hasn't been affected. I know some things are starting to affect the banking world. But
it's affecting everything.
Yeah,
I was just talking to Ken about the flights and the air traffic controllers.
Definitely.
And it's like they didn't know that. Well, Ken didn't know that they weren't getting paid. Like he was just like, man, wait. Oh, no, matter of fact, he didn't know that they were required to still come to work.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
And
it's just like, no, they gotta come to work, but they just not getting paid unless they got furloughed. So it's just like
a lot of them have been
it's just affecting everything.
Using their a lot of them have been using their vacation time and their paid time to put it in, because I guess it's a discrepancy on whether if they get their check back or back pay, or I guess
it's a law. They have to get back.
You can't
pay.
work for free.
No, they have to get back pay.
So
but
it just
if they get evicted before they get that back pay, then it's like.
Yeah, but then you got to look at your local congressmen and aldermen, all these people that vote on these bills. I think it takes 60 votes, and then they playing chess back and forth. Like, we only going to vote 54, but only 2 of you voting. And then I think now they're trying to pass it now. I think it's Sunday. But then I'm like, why? Like, and some of the stuff that I be reading online where people say, hey, they're going to try to pass it after the election that went on in New York, but like, why now? Like, I guess about the seating and the placement and have power, in the midterms and all the other stuff. It's just like some of the stuff that goes on how these politicians play the game back and forth, and they hold the government hostage. Because you can look at videos in the past where both sides say you should not use the government shutdown as a tool tactic to get what you want.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, it doesn't benefit anybody. But again, they're still getting paid. My taxes are still being taken out of my check. Like, ain't that a part of the government as well? Like, should my taxes be on pause? Or if they were taking out taxes, are they going to retro back? Well, we didn't take out taxes for 2 checks. Are we going to retake that money back out? Could you imagine if that happened? That would be insane.
Yeah,
it would never happen.
You go 3 checks, no taxes, then you be like, man, they just took $1,000 out. Like, what? That would be.
They ain't missing no checks.
This again, it goes back to the political game, because it's like there's no reason for any of this to happen, and now with the media telling I guess, whatever both sides want them to say. It's like, but when you actually look at it and do the research, it's like it has nothing to do with what they're talking about. The money that they wanted to add on, like $1.5 trillion. I had to investigate that. Like, so how are you going to add $1 trillion into a bill that you signed like 11 times prior with no problem? You had all that opportunity to try to increase or add that $1.5 trillion to it. So, of course, it's broken down over a lot of different line items that they put on the bill. But again, it looks like you just like laundering money, because the places that it's going, it's just like there's no way you can guarantee that $500 million went to Tarzanistan for some DEI. But it's legit shit like that that's in these bills. And you like, no person in their right mind would agree to spend that amount of money on such a task. But that's what they're asking for now. And then when you dig a little deeper, there are reports of like immigrants saying that, hey, we're not sticking around here if we don't have the free stuff that you promised. So now all that, that was built up for the immigrants to get here and they get to, live the high life was all based off of some crap somebody told them. And, that's not even a tip of the iceberg. It's just so much that goes with that. But at the end of the day, it's who is going to walk out victorious in this power struggle between Democrats and Republicans. So
yeah, I was saying it brought me back to a question that you had posed before when you were saying you don't understand why do people feel so strongly about politics when they don't have any skin in the game. And I think this is an example of the fact that we do have skin in the game, and it is the fact that we are the only ones with the skin in the game. It's like they're all playing the game up, in Washington. They're playing the game, but we are the ones that, have to deal with the outcome of the game.
To me, that's not having skin in the game if you don't.
Well, when you say skin in the game, what's your idea of, what do you mean when you say skin in the game?
It's funny that you asked that, because I just heard a quote recently, as the realest thing I've heard in a while. Person said that righteousness without power is just an opinion. And what that says is that you can have all the righteousness and the virtue that you would like to see happen, but unless you have the actual power to make it happen, then you're really not talking about much. And the American people are like that. It's like we have our rights, or we want to feel what's right in this particular situation. People shouldn't go hungry. That's a righteous thing. But what power do you have in order to go turn it back on? You have to go to other people and say, hey, we need this turned back on. What power do you have in order to turn it back on? Trump can do it with a signature. The Democrats, they can go in and vote on it. They can do it with their signatures. What
the filibuster?
Yeah, well, I mean, they already posed the filibuster, but they can go back in and sign this continued resolution. I mean, that's an action. That's having some power to actually resolve something. And the question to the American people is like, okay, what power do you have? Because right now you're suffering, but you don't have any power to turn on any of this right now.
But I don't think. What do you consider having skin in the game?
Skin in the game would be to the average person that goes out and vote, or whatever it is that they claim to do. Their skin in the game would be what they get out based off of what they put in. Example, if you are a regular person that votes every 4 years or every 2 years, depending if you midterm vote for mayor or whatever, if all you do is go and push a button and say, I select this person to win, that is the amount of energy that you put into the game. That's what you bring to the table. Whereas there are other people that do the same thing. They go out and vote, maybe the 2 years or 4 years or whatever, but they also contribute. So they'll go to whatever politician and be like, hey, Mr. Politician, I got 10 grand based on your campaign. What can you do for me? So right now, that person that's running, they're going to look at the person holding the $10,000 bag before they even consider you. So that's having some type of power. That's having some type of skin in the game. That person, $10,000 is their skin in the game.
You mean the super PAC? That's what you're talking about.
Well, yeah, super PAC, lobbyists. That was just an example, but you know that's the difference of having a skin in the game and not having skin in the game. You're gonna lose 10 times out of 10 if you're running for election and you right now came to me and said, "Hey, Gary, I need for XYZ to happen." And then D come over to me and it's like with a $10,000 bag, like, hey, G, I need for this to happen. Who do you think I'm going to talk to?
But those are those people. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you.
Because I don't think that's what skin in the game means. I feel like when you say having skin in the game, that means that the outcome of the game has an effect on your life. And it has an effect on you.
No,
and like the game means something to you. It's like the difference between us watching a Bears game and being pissed off and upset about it, when they lose. And it's just like, why are you so upset? You have no skin in the game. Versus if you are, having money bet on that team, or if the team winning or losing had a direct influence on something going on in your life, then that would be having skin in the game.
Right.
And that translates to me, at least, the situation that we're going through right now, because the Democrats and Republicans can't get their shit together. Now, regular citizens are, without food stamps that they, most majority of them actually need to feed their children and themselves. And I feel like that's food stamps, and that ability and that access to food stamps is skin in the game, because without it, you fucked.
Yeah. But yeah, that's to me is different. I was referring to the fact that the actual power and the ability that you would have as either a group or individual to make a difference on the outcome. So like right now, what you said is like people are waiting. It's like the skin in the game in that particular aspect is part of the result. It's not having the ability to make a change. So if you're waiting for something and the people that are sitting there waiting for their EBT, if they're waiting, that's not the skin in the game. That's the result of the skin in the game. To me, I mean, I see what you said, but to me, it's like you're still dependent.
Yeah, but do you think it falls along that hey, put what you want out there before you vote? Because once this person in office, when it's campaign time, hey, I'm going to kiss all the babies. I'm going to come on out and say this and say that, but then not trying to narrow it down to just the president, but all your politicians, all your lawmakers. Hey, you said you're going to vote for this and vote for this when you were campaigning, but you said you weren't going to do this, but now when that time to vote, I see you vote no.
Oh, yeah.
I see you vote no. You said you voted yes, and you told me you wasn't going to vote on that. But then, now it just, I think it's come down to like the people that do have actual power, the super PAC, the people that have campaign funds, but then it kind of forces you to go back, hey, it go toward the president, but then, these politicians are the ones that keep the government open, but they play chess. They play poker with all of our laws, and they tell us we're going to open up the government not until we get this. But the reason why you want this is because of this. Then it goes back and forth, and then you're trying to figure out, well, why do you say you want this? Why you want to send money to Uganda to keep the government open? What Uganda got to do with my food stamps?
Right.
But then they tell you all these back and forth online. And the filibuster and the news and the media, the Democrats don't want to open because of this, or the Republicans don't want to open because of this, or they keep voting no, or they keep voting no on this, or say yes on this. But I don't know. I still think it's weird that now all of a sudden they want to vote to open up the government. Both sides are coming together after the mayor election.
Yeah, I don't see that really being smooth.
Yeah, it's going to be.
But to wrap up when I was as far as the skin in the game, because I'm like, and when it comes to logic, it's there's an issue, is a conflict when people are debating about a topic, and then it comes down to the definition of words and the use of those words, and if if both sides are using different definitions to for the same word, then it's like it makes it difficult to come to an agreement or
understanding,
or any type of understanding.
We're all married. We do this all the time.
But so in looking up, when I look up the actual phrase having skin in the game, and it what I'm getting is it means having a personal stake or risk in the outcome of something. So if you have skin in the game, you're not just talking or managing, you're invested, whether it be money, effort, or reputation. So you actually stand to lose if things go wrong. So that has been my interpretation and my understanding of skin in the game, just from hearing the phrase used throughout different contexts. And so that's how I look at the situation that we're in. Like, we are really the biggest ones with something to lose when it comes to, what they're arguing about, in Congress. So it's like, if anybody got skin in the game, it would be us. Now, whether you take that to, I guess what the root, of the discussion we had before, as far as why people are so passionate about it and they attach it to their identities and stuff. And it's like, I get that, after, taking time to think about it and looking at the situation we're in, it's like, I understand why people get passionate about it.
Yeah.
But I don't understand. What I don't get is the contempt that people start to develop towards people who don't, necessarily see eye to eye with them. But I do understand that, like, we do got skin in the game. To be honest with you, we just don't have any power to influence the game, depending on how you feel about the voting process and whatnot. But
Right.
So that's just my understanding of it. So, because I'm like, when you were talking about that before, and I was like, yeah, you're right. But after thinking about it, I'm like, I still think you're right, but it's like a little bit, I think it's more nuanced than just you don't have any reason to be pissed off about who says what in an election or a race or whatever.
Well, now that part to me is true, but I guess the way that I see it in terms of not having skin in the game is, again, not having that ability.
The power.
Right.
I think that's above just having skin in the game. That becomes like, the mob in Vegas. Like, it's like,
I put it to you like this. If we're going to talk about end results of something, to me, it would be something that I know that I can change. So like, if I had the ability to change what's going on right now, like me personally, to me, I would definitely have to have some type of skin in the game or some type of power in order to make that type of move have a result to it, regardless of whether it's good or bad. But to me, it's like the, Godfather, the Corleone family. They made moves, made shit that's happened. So that was their skin in the game. They had a lot to risk, whether win or lose, but they had that power. And again, that's why it falls back on that saying that I said. It's like, yeah, it's righteousness, but with no power, it's just an opinion. So it would be an opinion for a person to think one way or feel about another way about something they have no control over. And I was like, don't get me wrong. It's like, I understand the need of why we would have to or would like to see things play out for the benefit of the people, but that's not how the game is set up. The system isn't rigged for that.
I mean, yeah, I get that, but I'm like, it doesn't. I don't think it negates the passion that people have when they can see that, I'm the one who has to deal with the fallout of this, but I have no power to affect it. Yeah. It's like watching Superman and one of his many enemies fight, over the planet. And it's just like, yo, if Superman lose, like we all fucked. But I ain't got no power to go up there and help Superman beat whoever it is.
Yeah.
So it's like
So
He's still destroying all the
right.
buildings. He's still,
He's still knocking shit over. And
he
like,
ain't- Superman ain't finna help us
Right. So
repair all this damage.
right. So it's just like, hey, I'm the one that I'm really the one that's at risk with all the skin in the game. Superman gonna be cool. He gonna go back to his.
well, not necessarily, because
but-
if he get beat down, then
No, I'm talking
Superman
about
ain't doing too
afterwards.
great.
I'm talking about afterwards. Like after they blow up all the buildings, fighting and throwing each other through buildings and stuff, because they going at it. Or the Hope. You can take the Hope. It's like
yeah, he
whoever Hope
destroyed,
fight.
yeah.
It's like, yo, they destroyed the whole city, but the bad guy is dead finally. Now the Hope get to go chill and turn back into Bruce Banner.
I have another old school
But it's
expression
like,
that I don't know if you young folks are up on. It's called, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
Yeah, you can break a few eggs, but you got to break the whole carton and the stove.
And the stove, you go break the whole department.
Right.
The eggs ain't no more eggs left. They
Yeah,
smashed
the U.S. economy.
But yeah, so I'm like, I get why people are so passionate about it, but at the same time, like, I definitely agree with you. It's just like, I can only get so pissed off about, I can only let something affect my day-to-day emotion and mental state so much when I really don't have, the power to change this, or I'm not willing to do what it takes to gain that power to start actually making change.
Yeah.
Because I'm not about to go put on a suit and go knocking on people's doors and running for Congress and all of that stuff.
Oh yeah,
I'm not doing it. So it's like,
Hey, if dude in New York got to be the mayor and he only had one job in his entire life, you could go and run for
I'm not
senator.
saying I couldn't. I'm saying I'm not going to.
I
So
think
that's
you
the issue.
should. I think you got the cleanest record out of anybody at this table.
what's his
I will
name?
vote for you. Zoran Mamdani.
Zoran Mandami. Yeah.
That was something I wanted to talk about too. Did you see? It's
Crazy.
ridiculous. Just the
Crazy.
their debate when, for some unapparent ass reason, the moderators asked them, "What is the first place that you guys, the first place as mayor that you plan on visiting?" And everybody was talking about Israel. What the fuck reason do you
I didn't
have to
see
go to
nothing,
Israel?
bro. I didn't see. He said that.
No, everybody but him said that.
Curtis Sliwa
Like-
and Cuomo, they were doing a debate.
No, it was all of them. It was all of the.
Yeah, it was all of them, but
all
I'm saying
the-
those two.
Like 5 of them or
No,
whatever.
it was
Yeah.
two. It was three of
It
them.
was the 3 of them.
Was it
Yeah.
3? I feel like it was more.
I didn't watch. I
that
didn't watch
was-
nothing, so I don't know.
If they did, they re-asked them, but it was the three of them up there. It was three of them because wasn't nobody else running. What's his name had dropped out by the time they had the debates. But yeah, the moderator asked them where would they go, and he was like, "Oh yeah, to Israel." And dude's like, "Yeah."
he said he ain't going.
He's like, "I'm staying in New York."
Yeah, and even no, I think it was a lot of people up there because it was a black lady. I remember her saying, she was like, "Well, the first place I would go would be, to the Holy Land," and it's just like, why? Why? Like, what reason is
I don't-
there for you to go to Israel? And that's what Mamdani said. He was like, what's going on in Israel got nothing like to do with me. Like, the first place I'm going is to New York to figure out what's the best for New Yorkers. He was like, Israel has nothing to do with what's going on in New York. My focus is on New York.
Now I start watching what was going on in New York. Mandami, right?
Yep.
Mamdani, yeah.
Mamdani?
No,
Mom,
mom.
M-A-M.
With an M, Mamdani.
Yeah.
I started watching towards the end, I guess, some of his policies, but I did immediately. I didn't watch no debate, no campaign, no none of that. I was busy working.
Pure comedy.
So
It's stupid. No, I didn't pay attention to it. I just came across that clip and I just thought that was ridiculous.
I did notice how some of the things he was saying, like free bus services, taking private property. What? Hold on. I guess.
No, he said that.
Well, I got this policy listed up here. I guess provide
And
free universal health care for all children aged 6 to 5 and a bunch of other things. I'm not going to read them all off. I noticed how he started to backtrack as soon as he got
It wasn't.
elected, and some of his officials and councilmen or whatever starting to tell him, like,
You can't do any. Here's how crazy all of that is. I mean, the entire election and the fact that this dude, number one, ran for mayor. I was like, this dude, the world is officially gone crazy. You're talking about some millionaire kid that was born and raised in Uganda. His parents are millionaires. His mom is like some film director. It's like this dude, when he got married, went over Uganda. All private security had shit, the town blocked off of where he got. This dude is for money. He's like, you know, like you was talking about, after the city is destroyed, he can go fly back to Uganda like Superman. Like, oh well, I screwed that up. So he has like he won't be affected by the damage that he's getting ready to cause. This other crazy thing is the fact that people didn't even bother to go research any of the things that he said in regards to what he's going to do. This was all based off of that. Oh, we hate Trump so much, and we hate right now anything that got to do with Republicans or white people. It's like, we're going to go vote for this crazy dude with all these crazy policies. And if you go look at the numbers, which, you know, I accidentally tripped across, but I found it very interesting that the stuff that he's talking about and was running in his campaign, he does not have the rights to do. That goes to the governorship. He doesn't, it wouldn't even start with him in order to make like free buses and affordable. That doesn't even start with him. He just said some shit and people jumped on it.
Well,
and like,
look at the amount of stuff that Trump said that he was going to do that he had no power to do.
Well,
he figured out how to get
he
some of that
figured
stuff.
it out because he's in a presidency. He runs now the Supreme Court and everything. And this dude doesn't have that type of power over a city like New York. He just doesn't have it. And the fact that he ran on it, and you could clearly look it up during the process of the campaign and find out, like, no, dude doesn't have the ability to make do rent freezes and stuff like that. But people voted him in anyway.
Yeah, because he got on TV talking about, like, hey, dude, this slum landlord got all these violations, and if he don't get it fixed, we're gonna fix it for him, and then build him back, and then if he still don't build it, we're gonna take over the building, we're gonna take your property and all this other stuff. Yep. But I'm thinking, like, some of the stuff you're saying, that's like, that is not gonna work.
That's communism.
Like, what?
That's like having a king go to you can't
kings.
You cannot say something like that and be like, dude, we're gonna charge you, like, every time you mess up, you're gonna get the regular fine, then we're gonna double the fine, then we're gonna triple the fine, and then we kicking you out of your own spot. You just cannot do that. And to tell somebody that, number one, because dude, it's like any other house violation. If a person were to come knock on your door to run codes for your house, they're going to find like a dozen violations. Even if you think your stuff is up to par, they're going to find something. So can you imagine owning like a 200 unit building and somebody come in and be like, hey man, apartment 203 is trash. You got to get this done, this done, this done. And if you know, they come back and then they find out 505 got some problems, and then we're going to tax you. The landlord, whoever owns that property, can't afford it. So what? Now the city owns it just because some crazy, mayor came through and shut everybody out, and who's going to get replaced when the government takes over?
Well, I think the reason he won is the same reason that that Trump won. I feel like the second go round, even the first go round, is because mostly on the first go round, is because people are so tired of the same old that they are willing to vote for something that's completely extreme, that they don't really know anything about, that just sounds different. It's like, look, I don't like what's going on right now. This person is offering something different, and he's also saying some stuff that I like and that, might be beneficial to me. So I'm gonna go ahead and vote for him. Let's see how it works. I feel like that's the same reason that Trump won. It's like, hey, look, I don't like all this stuff, so let's figure out something else. Let's see if this other way works. And it's like I don't think he did as much, but I'm like, I just noticed all of the Democrats are pretty much running on not policies, but defying Trump. It's just like, that's the only thing that I see when I'm looking at, and I'm seeing JB do his things, and then the other Indian governor candidate for Illinois. And it's just like all of their things, like every line is just, hey, Trump did this, we're gonna review that.
Yeah,
Trump wants to do this, we're gonna block that. It's like, hey, what are you
not
planning
how
on
things work?
doing? Like, not just what are you planning on reversing, or what are you planning on blocking? Like, no, tell me what you actually want to do that's gonna make our streets better, safer.
Yeah, because I saw a couple of I forgot what news network it was in New York City, because I don't know their news network, but they were asking some of the people that, you know how they bring in random voter, they bring in Republicans, Democrat, and somebody's in the middle, and they was asking them a bunch of questions about Mandami, right? That's how you say his name?
Yeah.
And they were saying, like, I guess some of the people that were still in between that hadn't voted or about to vote, that's about to become 18, they were talking about, like, yeah, I didn't get how he told us not to donate, but now he's telling us to donate because he don't have the money to do this or what he want to do, and they thought it was confusing. And then some people was like, you know how the news reporter try to, hey, I got you in a moment, because now we all been telling you he can't do this, and now free bus services, free childcare services for this or whatever his other policies are, like you need to have a board approved it, and it gets funded by taxpayer dollars. And some of the people that are wealthy, I think it's like 90,000 millionaires in New York and 100-something billionaires.
They out of there.
And majority, yeah, New York. And some of the wealthy people was like, well, we was already moving out of it anyway. We're going to take our business out. But the millionaires is what fund 40% of the taxes out there.
Yeah. I mean, that's just basic math.
Or something like that. You know how some people come out here and these news media read these numbers and they try.
No, I mean, it's just basic math. It's like they make the majority of the money, so they're going to pay the majority in taxes.
And majority in taxes, but then some of them like, we're going to move out here and take our business elsewhere because, when you break down the numbers, I guess some of them were saying 2% is a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Government-run grocery stores, like how would that work?
Oh, it's not.
You think it'll be like Wix or something where you can only go in there and grab 2 boxes of cereal?
I tell you what, right now, pull up on go Google it and find a free grocery store right now. Not one of those pantries. I'm talking about go find a socialist type grocery store in the United States now.
What do you? I don't think he ever said anything about making the grocery stores free.
No, he ain't making a government-run grocery store.
Oh, they're government-run? Okay.
Because we were talking about it. It's going to be a grocery store. It's just the prices will be cheaper and the money will go back into the government.
But do you think that'll be... But I'm talking about New York. Do you think that'll be a down in quality? Because I'm not trying to down Wix, but some of the stuff at Wix is not necessarily...
I mean, it's not name brand.
Yeah, it's not name brand, but you know how...
it's going to provide you with the nutrition that you need.
But GMOs, I'm not...
But are they going to be like, hey, this is
I'm not sure.
But you like the one I'm trying to explain is government-run grocery store. You can't just go in there and buy up all the eggs. You can't just go in there and buy up all the cereal. Would it be like that? I don't know what a government run.
I mean, who knows? I said, I feel like it would operate like a regular grocery store. They would just be more competitive because they are the government, so their buying power would be better. So they would be able to charge less, and it would be they would be able to undercut all the competitors. Even it's like they would be able to undercut all the other grocery stores that's around. But
it got to be.
That's the only thing that I can picture it as being. Like I don't know how that would actually go in practice though. But that's how I just I picture it being just a regular grocery store, but instead of how like a parent company, the money just go back into the government. But it would, because me and G talked about it before. He was just like, hey, it's the government, so they're going to be able to charge the lowest prices as possible. So they're going to, pretty much run all the other stores out.
Yeah, but
because they're not going to be able to compete. They're not going to be able to drop their prices as low as the government can drop.
But you know how some parents and kids, but my kids don't eat this stuff. My kid don't eat Bootio cereal or something. I don't
Cocoa Dots.
I mean,
Kellogg corn,
but it really wouldn't be for. I feel like people in those type of households, they wouldn't be shopping there anyway. They're still gonna go. I don't know any grocery stores in New York, but they're gonna go to. I'm sure they got Trader Joe's or like those type of Whole Foods and Mariano's. There's gonna be those type of grocery stores that those people go to regardless. Like
Well, I mean, whatever
nobody who's
rich people are left to go to those grocery stores.
Yeah,
but
I
if
mean,
you're signaling already you're going to have government-run grocery stores, then that doesn't mean to what's going to be a benefit. Well, I mean, maybe it'd be a benefit to the communities, but you're not talking about getting them out anytime soon. If you like, well,
Yeah, that's gonna be a while. Licensing the space or renting the space or whatever the building. But then with the building things where he was talking about, taking private property.
They ain't
Like,
gotta
it
do
just,
that.
like,
I'm sure they got plenty of abandoned buildings in New York that they would just be like, okay, nobody owned this building, nobody did nothing to it. Eminent domain, this our building now. Go fix it, pay some contractors to go fix it up, turn it into a nice little store. And now we got a government run store. I can see benefits and negatives to it, but I can't really predict whether or not it's going to be overall good or bad as far as for the neighborhood that it gets plopped in, because it could turn out to be just like a Walmart thing. Like Walmart was able to come in and undercut all the mom and pop stores in the little towns, and now there's no mom and pop stores anywhere because Walmart ran them out of business. It could be like that, or
like Ace Hardware and Home Depot and Lowe's.
Yeah, or it could be, like I said, a more affordable option for the people who really already struggle.
You do got all the people now doing the the Walmart Plus, and you order everything online and you just go pick it up. Like, how would that? Some people are used to that idea where they don't want to have to go into the stores. Some people are still wearing masks in the fear of COVID or the cold. It's flu season. It just all those things kind of do play in there, but it just.
So, but with speaking about like government and stuff, came across this video. It's a comedian, Ari Shafir. I think I sent it to you guys. But they were they asked him. He's a comedian. Preface that, but I guess he's being dead serious in this clip. I'm gonna play it real quick so you guys can hear it. Tell me what you think.
And what about politics?
I don't give a shit.
You don't find it a great
I really don't care about politics.
trove of
Some people
material?
do. I don't. I think the system is corrupt. Every time I'm walking on the street, somebody's like, hey, vote for so-and-so. I'm like, it's all corrupt. Anarchy is the only way we're going to change anything. Violence. Kill a politician. That's the only way you can change shit.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you're joking.
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah, voting is not going to make a difference. It has never. Not in 100 years.
So what would you like to see?
I'd like to see some politicians start getting murdered and reform this government.
Oh my God.
And do one that's not corrupted. I'd like to get business out of government, and they're not going to do it. So the only way to do this is start killing people.
Isn't that exactly what you
Look around the
don't
world.
want?
How has anything changed around the world? How has any regime change happen around the world? Violence. That's the only way. You think people in Arab countries are that much different than us?
Yeah.
Violence. That's the only way you depose a system that doesn't represent the people anymore.
I mean, I think the wonderful thing about the United States is that we can vote, and you do change
Your
administration.
vote doesn't go anywhere. Your vote doesn't do anything.
Yes, it does.
You can now be arrested and never tried if they say you're a terrorist. Never tried in your life. Just arrested and held forever. Who voted for that?
So shoot them all.
No, not shoot them all. Start shooting them until they get business out of politics and they start representing who we are instead of their money interests. Yeah, violence. That's the only way shit changes, man.
Okay.
Look at history. Tell me when a regime has changed with voting. I mean, I know.
I mean, I'm not trying.
That's not fair because you haven't studied this stuff.
Well, no, I'm not trying to, murder politicians. I'm not trying to do what I don't like that others do that I would like to change, so I will shoot somebody because I'm pissed off that they're shooting somebody else.
Yeah.
It's not the way that I think, but that's fine. We think differently.
I think even if you don't want to shoot somebody, don't vote. Voting is you complicitly saying, I support this system, and I don't support it anymore. I don't. We're killing people in Yemen. We're murdering families in Yemen that aren't associated with any sort of terrorist thing. It was just an oopsie when we kill a wedding party. And Obama, the fucking hope change guy, just refused to comment on it. That's cool. Do what you want. It's not going to change. Your voting is not going to change that. I know one way that it'll change. I can look at history and tell you this is the way things change. Look at whenever a black guy gets shot. It's like, oh, it's bad. If this is a riot, no one comments on it. Those things go under the radar. When there's a riot in Baltimore, it's like, hold on, we've got to rethink the system here in Baltimore because people went crazy. That's just in history, here and elsewhere. That's the only way.
Ooh, I kind of spoke to you about it, so I kind of know what you think about it a little bit. What you think about what he said?
Man, that guy.
He said a lot.
He said a lot.
He said made some strong statements.
Man, it's like two sides of it. Like, I feel like nothing doesn't move until somebody gets shot. Nothing doesn't move or nothing doesn't take place in this country until there's a significant civil unrest that's going on. Look at George Floyd. Look at what came from George Floyd. Look at I forgot his name.
Like you said,
like the guy
riots and stuff.
Like the riots. What's the guy that got beat in the street by all the police officers?
Like every black guy that got pulled over.
But the
Rodney King.
Yes. Rodney King.
Yeah.
Rodney King, yes. Like look at what like came from that. Look at what came from George Floyd. You know, and some people have their different opinion about it. Some people say George Floyd is not a hero. George Floyd had a criminal record and all these other things. Do he deserve to die that way? No, he does not. That does not justify it. Some people say, do he deserve a trophy? Some people say yes. Some people say no. I am not saying either. I don't think the real question
should be about George Floyd as a person.
Yeah,
it should be about the action that happened.
The action that happened. But society doesn't look at it that way. It's so many different turns and left. You got this side saying something. You got up saying something, down saying something, left, right. Everybody has their opinion about it. But what that guy said, I mean, I don't condone anything he say. You know, that is not what our show is about, where we condone what he says.
Absolutely not condoning killing people. But as far as just his take on, you know, how else
is something going to happen?
How else can you change?
There's some truth to it, but then it's one of those saying the quiet part out loud. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, I mean,
it's you know, I mean, I ain't finna hold my tongue or that stuff. There's some truth to it. There's some.
To me, he wasn't wrong. Throughout history, that's just how it goes. If you even take the Bible as a historic text, it tells you that people been at war since people existed. Mm-hmm. And nobody ever conquered another nation by sitting there raising their hand saying like, hey, we think you should leave this part of the land so we can take it. It's been done by blood, power vacuums, even through presidential histories here. It's like people, hey, we need to go take this out on the front lawn. And you would get popped. Wars have been fought, over power. It's like that's how it works. So he wasn't wrong to the point where it would take violence in order to overthrow. I think what the problem is that who would be at the end of that war, it's like who would be left standing? Like who are you going to go to war with? And that was my biggest question with the turmoil and like where we're at today in society. It's like, okay, Democrats and Republicans get super mad and they decide to go guns for guns. It's like, how are you going to decipher that? How are you going to run into somebody and assume that they're Republican or Democrat? And once that's said and done and y'all shot each other up, then what? The power structure that's going to remain at the top are the ones that would put you in it. So
but do you think that's the...
Well, I think his point was not us, not the people taking each other out. His point was taking out the people who are actually in power, who are not doing the things that we want them to do when we put them in office.
It was sending a signal.
No, but
it was send a definite message to the. You don't think so?
No, because it's like this. Say for instance, right now,
like the United Healthcare guy. Now,
exactly.
Yeah, but what did that change?
Yeah, but
he got dudes going locked up for life. That didn't change anything in the healthcare policy. It's the same thing. Like if you were to do it to a politician wise, if you were to line up all the politicians and take them out, just hypothetically, or say you take out 75% of them, and you wipe them out. You be like, okay, let's start fresh. You're gonna go through the exact same voting process with the exact same people getting funded by the exact same super PACs or lobbyists or whoever to get put right back in the exact same position. So it's not even the people that we see, because I'd always thought about that too. Like, well, if you want to change the world, taking out President Trump or whoever's president at the time is not going to change anything, because they don't rule. It's like they're like everybody else. They the manager at Burger King. You ain't changing shit on the menu. You're just up there as a figurehead. So the people that own the franchise of Burger King now, they can put a pizza in there if they want to. But it's like you'll never see them. It's like you'll never see the people that's really in control.
Okay. So this is only playing devil's advocate just to further conversation. Not, like I said, not to justify or condone going out popping politicians. But to his point was, start popping politicians until they get the message and they start actually representing our interests. So I don't think that his point was to, like I said, line them all up and just, take them all out and start from scratch. It's just like, hey, how many politicians do you think it would take to, to get assassinated until the remaining ones start saying, all right, cool, we might need to start, actually
being on our shit.
Yeah, we might need to start actually doing some stuff. And, besides the people who are actually in power, even above the politicians. And it's like, you don't think that it would be a number that can be reached, that
I think
remaining politicians would be like, all right, cool.
I think
we need to start changing something.
I think the way our system is run, our constitution, and how we vote, and how it have to be either a left or a two-party system,
or even changing that whole thing.
Yeah, I think now, because we have a two-party system and we have to vote on things, and because of that system we have in place, it's to hold other people accountable, so you won't get too powerful, or you won't get too powerful, or this one person or whatever. You have all these people that have to come together and vote to make a change or bring in a law or remove a law or whatever the case may be. I think that wouldn't even help if you start to off politicians, because it doesn't change this. It doesn't change the system. Like how you say, it wouldn't even change how we vote. You still need 60 votes.
But I'm saying it would it? You don't think that it would cause them to start making changes to the system when they start taking out politicians and saying, hey, look, this is why we taking out politicians. We don't feel like that the process that you guys and the system that you guys have in place now accurately represents what we have in our best interests and what we want to accomplish. And you are not giving us the power that our Constitution supposedly guaranteed us.
But wouldn't it be more of a single power system, to where it is this person controls all the food, this person controls all the welfare, this person controls transportation, airfare, banking system?
I mean, it's
like
divvied just up in the departments.
It's just too many people have to come together to vote to get something passed. Even if you have a single person that's representing your neighborhood, your town, your Cook County, or your district, like the alderman can't get nothing done by themselves. The mayor can't get nothing done by themselves. They got to go to a board, they got to vote on it, or they even have to go to an election where you go in there and say, vote yes on this bill or vote no. Like, it doesn't. If you take out the mayor, there's still somebody there.
But you don't think it would
still send a signal.
But
100%.
You don't think it would force them to have skin in the game to the point where it's just like, all right, look,
100%.
We need to imagine if some lunatic did something crazy that was an act of or threat of proven threat of violence towards all of the members in Congress that are debating right now. Say, hey, look, if y'all don't go in there and figure something out and come out in less than a week with some kind of agreement, there's some stuff going to start happening, and this is the proof that we got to show that we can make this stuff happen.
Like two politicians,
you don't think that they would?
Oh, 100%.
You don't think they'd come out their room with some kind of agreement?
I think from there they would call a lockdown, and they would say, due to politicians' lives being threatened, we're going to do everything from a Zoom call now. So everything that the voters or the politicians would have is like, hey, we're going to do this over the phone now because our lives are in jeopardy.
Okay, scrap the violent part. Put it on like the cybersecurity. Let's just say that they got what's that group, the Anonymous, I think, or whatever.
QAnon group or something like that? Or?
No, Anonymous, the hacker group.
Yeah, hacker group.
Let's just say they get some codes, they get some access to some documents, and they like, look,
Them Diddy files.
They get access to them Epstein files. Let's say that somehow they download them Epstein files, and they like, hey, look, we leaking these joints if y'all don't come out with some kind of agreement.
Yeah, I don't think that would make a change.
I feel like it would. I feel like it would give them more of an incentive, because right now they have no incentive to come to a resolution outside of possibly not being elected next time they go around.
Yeah, but the thing is, majority. How many people in Congress? Like 400, 300, 200?
435.
I couldn't even tell you all the oddballs that I don't even know. We only know the ones that we seen on TV.
Right.
But you do hear about, such and such elected official son passed away. Then you be like, I never know who that person is. But he's a representative in Florida or Texas or Utah. But then it's like, I think it will definitely send a message. But I do think, they'll take certain precautions and measures and stuff like that, but then are they still allowed to vote if there's not enough politicians? Like something happened at the Capitol.
They got backup.
Yeah,
but I'm more speaking of like giving them an incentive. Like I said, because at the current state, they don't have a real incentive to get in there and seed some ground and come to a conclusion. They have no incentive. Ain't none of them on public health care, so they ain't got to worry about that.
I love millionaires.
And ain't none of them on SNAP. So they definitely, ain't worried about that. They have no incentive to.
They got all the power and
right.
they can do insider trading and
they have no real reason to go in there and come to any conclusions. Like I said, outside of in the next 8-9 years, whenever they got to run again, and by then. It'll come up with some other thing, and then all of this has been forgot about.
Because every time when one of them get a conscience, I'm gonna bring forth the bill so Congress members don't get paid until the government back open. They block it. So quick.
You ain't about to take their
sense.
money. I was like, it's only. To me, it's like you got to think from their point of view. It's like any other job that you may have had. I know I've had several jobs that I was like, I just didn't like the work, so I didn't put the energy behind it, but I collected a paycheck. Mm-hmm. And it's like, they're no different. It's like, it's not morally better. These people are better than you or anything like that. It's like, no, they're crooks. Mm-hmm. And they've been getting paid X amount of dollars for so many years for doing very little work and get to hop in front of a camera and speak the stupid talks. It's like they say some of the most dumbest things. Exactly. It's like, so it's like they're not going to be in a rush to give that job up. So of course they're going to protect it. I know if I was getting paid like $200,000 a year, I'm going to tell you whatever it is you want to hear, but I'm not doing anything about it. Because I'm going to sit up there and tell you like, hey, after we talked, I looked at that bill and want to push it through, pushed it out to my colleagues, and we're going to see what we can do to make this happen for you. And I'm going to give it all I got. And I can ride that for 6 years. Shit, Umar Johnson still don't have a school built. This Negro. So it's like, if he can sell that, that's what politicians do. And it's just like, that's just the honest looker. And, to what dude said about going out and start putting targets on people, it could make some changes. But again, I don't see it. But society would have to like be on this way out in order for, people to sit there and take notice. Because if you threaten, especially a politician, the first thing they're going to be like, well, you can't threaten me. I got the U.S. government on my side. So wherever you're hiding, we will find you. Whatever threat is being made, it's like, oh, we'll hunt you down. So,
Yeah, I don't, like I said, I think it's a very radical and, to be honest, an unrealistic proposition to make. But I think it's one of them head scratchers.
Yeah, but like, not to say that it won't be on its way soon, because I will say this to y'all, because like I said, I've been watching, and I even went back and started doing history of the U.S. presidents and the time periods and what it is that people went through in order when the United States was under its building process. And like with George Washington and Quincy Adams, it's like these guys were appointed basically, and they didn't have that tier party system. It was more or less, it's like, this is the list of problems that we have, and this is the things that we need to get done first. It wasn't about an argument about who was going to do what and how they were going to do it like it is now. So throughout that time period, not only in politics, but just in society as itself, we have reached an all-time new low in terms of, like, me personally, I'm scared. I'm glad I'm not younger and scared, but as a young person right now, these are very new waters that we've never been in before. And I was like, you look at all the things in terms of finances. Finances, number one, $37 trillion in debt just as the United States. You're never paying that back. There's no way you can pay that back. Forget about it. So whenever those debts are called in, you got a problem coming. So your upcoming future in terms of your kids, it's like they're not going to have any type of industry or any type of production that will give them the lifestyle, say, that we had back in the 80s, or give them any type of future in terms of paying that debt off, or it's just not enough work that can be done in order to correct this. So for them, they're looking at a future now that AI has moved in, all these different, of course, businesses are closing. It's like they're going to be looking at almost like a dead zone with no future to it, because jobs now are closing left and right. It's like we're in a process. This is the worst. They said October since 2003 in terms of everything getting wiped off. And it was a difference because you still had industry to build and for something to look forward to, and you just don't have that right now. And it's like
they said anything dealing with sitting behind a computer with data
it's
industry,
dead. It's gone. Dude, I just sat and me and my brother was sitting there looking at, because he's a developer, that's what he does, and he's like, dude, I won't have any work in a year. And we looked at what is going to replace him, and it is crazy. It is like super. I'm still having like taking issue wrapping my brain about, dude, you can right now within maybe a half hour, if you know an app that you want to create online, you can have it coded, the whole nine, printed, tested, run it, and start making money on it by next week. And you just couldn't do it before. So that's putting all the technical aspect out the window. The automation is putting people out of work. Companies can't sit there and invest in people anymore if they're not selling anything to invest to people. So but the future is looking real bleak. And I'm sitting there thinking, like, the bottom is going to drop out of this. It's just that you don't know what's going to happen. But we've never been here before.
I mean, that's the case for any time period. It's
like, what do you think of that?
Like every day, this is the first day that we're experiencing this. So
we're gonna look back and be like, remember when? I mean,
like, people do it all the time.
What do you think of the like the 50-year mortgage that's being pushed now? Because I know some people think it might be a little bit ridiculous.
50-year mortgage?
Yeah, Trump is proposing a 50-year mortgage, but some people are saying it's no difference when the previous president presented a 30-year mortgage. People thought that was a little bit far-fetched, but how many people you think will actually go for a 50-year mortgage? Like your payment will be drastically lower, but your interest
$600 for a house. There'd be a hell of a lot of people.
But the amount of interest you'll have to, because they're saying because of the 50-year mortgage, you will get no equity. Like the amount of interest you will be paying, and a company will push people to go for a 50-year mortgage because they will make so much more money off of it versus a 30-year, because you will technically get like no equity in your home or anything to pull money out or something like that. But do you think that will further, like, it's not needed, like not in this economy right now to even try to propose that? Would you apply for a 50-year mortgage?
Depending on my financial situation and how bad I want to be in a house versus an apartment.
Man, that's
I can't see myself being 50 years anywhere. So I mean, that would make it difficult as a young person, because think about it. if you got a 50-year mortgage, you would have to start like in your 20s.
It's for it to make even any type of sense.
Right. Because
that.
you like, I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. Because if you start buying a house at like 25, 50 years, you'll be 75. so
I paid off my house.
yeah, I paid off my house. I'm going to
coming
to see you, Elizabeth.
I think a lot of people would be looking at it in that aspect, like, especially if you 30 or 40, just buying your first house and you get a 50. I'm like, hey, I ain't gonna be here. So,
But do you think it will incentivize like other companies instead of a 5-year car loan? Now you put in for a 20-year car loan. It'll incentivize every other company in the United States
people
or
already
industry.
doing that.
20-year car loan?
Man,
They got, I know they up to 7 now.
I just seen, man, it's a channel I watch, financial channel. It's called Financial Audit. Caleb Hammer.
I know what you're talking
This
about.
little short, chubby white dude. He going through people's finances and like just like calling them out on all the BS spending. It's like going into the.
I know exactly what you're talking
Man, he be going in on them, and it's like it's a wake up call. But it's like he gets consent to like he's basically roasting them for an hour and a half about how bad they are with their spending habits and their financial decisions and stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's just like every single time I watch the show, it's like I feel better about my
Yeah, it does. It really does
because
make you feel better.
it be people that's like in a mid to late 20s, early 30s maybe, and they got $80,000 in debt, and it's not even a mortgage.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
And it's
it's
just
real.
like-
It do make you feel better about your own.
It's just like-
I feel better already, even if that was
Right.
an estimate.
and that's on like the midpoint. So it's like be way above sometimes, and it's just like, yo, you make and the craziest part is they be having strong income. The one I just watched most recently, she was a charge nurse in a hospital in her town. I believe it was Austin, and she makes $6,000 a month, but somehow she's late on her mortgage payment 2 months in a row. She's got 8 late credit card payments. She's got $80,000 in debt, and she brings in $6,000 a month, and somehow she spends, I think he said 10. How do you spend $10,000 a month? And she just got a car, and it was a 76-month loan.
Wow.
That called making it work.
Right. She was like, it was a brand new car, and I think she said it was like 2022 or something like that. She got like a 76-month loan at like 12% or some crazy stuff. I'm just like,
Yeah.
so I'm like, it's happening, and they just like credit cards after credit
Yeah.
cards, and they all
I think
maxed
they
out.
would,
One of
though.
them is over the limit because you didn't pay the minimum payments, so now the interest got on it and went
Yeah.
over, and it's just like, man, if you look at just look at that channel and just look at the financial decisions that people be making. 50-year mortgage, of course people are going to be paying for that. People are going to be doing that left and right and they're going to be bragging about, oh yeah, I only pay $600 a month for my 4-bedroom, 3-bedroom house.
How much your house is?
$500,000.
$500K. Damn.
Like,
you
man,
gonna
you
pay
ain't
that off?
never
when you-
paying that house.
Yeah, exactly.
You are going to be paying that for the rest of your life.
Man.
Whether you pass it down or the interest rate on that, who knows what interest rate to be, like what your interest rate would be when you get approved for that. But they'll probably be pushing for it.
They probably throw in a variable interest rate.
Like, well, you're going to get to 0.2%, but over 50 years,
Right.
And after the 10-year mark, then we could change that based on the market interest rate. So if the interest rate jump up to 8%, that's
you
what you're paying that month.
refinance. You did 20 years in and you refinance for 30. How much you got left? That could play like that.
Yeah.
That could definitely
So,
play in someone's favor. But
I wouldn't
then,
be surprised at all, man. Because
Man.
people just be, and then like they give pushback on like every little thing. They try to justify it. Then it's just like, how do you not see that? And he be telling them like, hey, you're choosing X, Y, and Z over paying for your child or, providing X, Y, and Z for your child. And it's just like, they're like, no, I'm not. I can do both. And it's like, no, because you're putting X, Y, and Z on a credit card. So now you have to pay that back. And that money could have went, this place, or, you're going in debt because you're really going to have to pay interest. And then by the time you pay interest, you're paying damn near double. And people just don't really fully understand and grasp the concept of interest and, and like sunk loss. And it's just like they just see everything in like, hey, I wanted this in the moment, and there was an opportunity for me to get it. And this company told me they'll give me a payday loan, and like they told me, my paycheck is X,
24%.
Yeah, it was like I can get this and I get
Center?
that. Dude. And it's just like they just end up in these ever cycling. They just end up in a cycle of taking out payday loans, and then they take out the next payday loan to pay off the last payday loan. They get their paycheck that goes straight to pay off the first payday loan.
Oh yeah,
and
that's
it's just
that
like
sounds like you in a mafia situation with yourself.
Man, and then a surprising,
you're about to break your own kneecaps.
Good
and then
Lord.
it'd be crazy because a surprising amount, I would say about 90% of them are white, and a surprising amount of them have some form of public assistance, whether it be they're in a rent controlled apartment when they can afford to not be, but they because I think one of them, I think the girl was she had a degree. She went to school and she could be making, X amount of money, but she, didn't want to do that career anymore. So she got a job in like a salon or something. So she makes significantly less. And she applied for the rent control. She got into it based on her income. But then she does side gigs I don't know if it was like a
they work in the
contractor.
system. They work in the
like
system.
Independent contractor type thing was just like is not technically reported, but she's making more than what she should be making to be in this rent control apartment. And then they got one person, she was getting food stamps, and she was getting food stamps because the job that she was at, she was working like 3 days a week because she wanted to spend time with her kids at home. And she was like, I don't want to work full time because then I won't be able to, hang out with my kids. So I'm gonna make significantly less, even though I have plenty of opportunity. He was like, hey, can you pick up extra shifts? And he was like, yeah, they always ask me to pick up extra shifts. And if I ever,
willing to,
get a little bit behind, then I'll just pick up an extra shift to, cover whatever I missed. And he was just like, yo, you're gaming the system. Like, I'm paying taxes so that you can sit at home and bullshit with your kids.
Hey, and that plays into Section 8 when some people get the job, they get paid under the table and some people will try to prioritize their Section 8 over making more money.
No, absolutely.
And even down to food stamp. Like I ain't finna lose my food stamp. I ain't finna lose my Section 8. I'm gonna have to go down to 2 days a week. I ain't doing this, or I'm gonna quit and go work at McDonald's, only getting 2 days a week.
Absolutely.
And that's called working the system. But
what always pissed me off about that is that motherfuckers that had Section 8 always had better places than I did. I'm like, how are you living on Lakeshore Drive on the 23rd floor in Section 8 overlooking the lake?
Because they got certain apartments that's blocked off for that. Like, I think them buildings, they have to have a certain amount of units
30%,
that's
30%.
dedicated for Section 8. So it's like somebody gonna be in it.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, I can't.
I was hating in my early years. I ain't gonna lie, I was just straight hating.
I can't be too mad at it just because
I was like, I work 6 days a week and I gotta go back to the hundreds. This is horrible.
Yeah, it's definitely for people that definitely need it. That's what it came out for with the Great Society program that came out with President LBJ. When all those programs came out, like even down to the women youth that have the coins that go into the buses and the transfer. You take the transfer, you put it in there, and then I get 2 more rides after this when I go downtown. Yeah. Like I can
Except
use
on Sundays. They had the super transfer on Sundays. You could ride all day.
Oh, man, do you remember the 7-day bus pass and the 30-day bus pass?
Oh yeah.
Oh man,
I remember the paper ones, and I remember trying to get on the bus one time, and it was when and it blew out my hand. And you couldn't get them wet because they was made out of this real thin.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, that mug blew out my hand. I must have chased it for 2 blocks. And that was worthless.
Or you used to have that 30-day bus pass. Then your friends like, hey, like you're gonna be off for the next 2 days. Can I borrow your pass? Like $5. Like,
Damn.
Right.
oh man, them days are long gone.
Oh, yeah.
This generation just
They
don't
still
know.
got them on the little digital cards.
How much are they though?
It's still the same. I think it's $20 for the 7-day.
Oh man, I got a car
$5
now.
for the
So
1 day.
I got a car. What we went through back then on that CTA, with the CTA now. Oh man.
Yeah,
But
that's scary.
so I guess going on to the next topic, I got asked an interesting question by my mother earlier. She asked me what was my thoughts on reparations, and I guess she was a little bit puzzled by my answer, and I was trying to tell her that I kind of think if reparation were to ever do pass, I'm for reparation. Whoever passed them, give me the money. I'm for reparation, but I think reparation will probably divide some people in a certain way. Because could you imagine getting a piece of paper in the mail and it has like the government partnered with Ancestry or Find Your Heritage, and you get a letter in the mail and you find out whether if you qualify for reparation, and they tell you you are a descendant of slave, slave owner, or neither or both. Could you imagine like getting that in the mail? You got approved for reparation, like Family Blue. You got approved for reparation, but you didn't get approved for reparation. Now you walking down the street and you seeing people count their money, and they be like, "Hey, you get your reparation?" And then they be like, "Nah, I'm a descendant of slave owners." Like, would that necessarily, if you were to find something out about that, like would you necessarily look at that person differently because you find out? Because we all got that one person we know, black this, the system's against me, we need to get our reparation, et cetera, et cetera. Like, for example, could you imagine if Reverend Al Sharpton finds out, Sharpton,
yeah.
Reverend Al Sharpton finds out he's a descendant of slave owners? Do you think he has the right to still push up that same message that he puts by trying to make everything about racism? Would you tell him he has to stop that idea? Just like Sunny Holton on The View. Did you know Sunny Holton on The View found out she did Ancestry, and she found out her family owned slaves? And a lot of people within the comment like, yeah, you got to stop that crazy talk you do on The View now. Your family owned slaves. You can't keep having the same idea. Would you think that plays in the community, not just black people? Because, a lot of people do think that black people were only slaves. It was that's how business was done back then. I'm not trying to dumb down slavery in any way, shape, or form, but there are some black people that were slaves, got freed, and then became slave owners themselves.
Yep.
Do their generation or their families?
I mean, technically, they were still descendants of slaves too.
They're still descending the same. But would you look at someone different and be like, hey, you can't talk that same idea no more. Your family owned slave, because they always throw in your face, the system this, the system that. But do you think it would divide people more?
So I feel like you're asking two separate questions.
Yeah,
Which one do you want first? My opinion on reparations, and then turn that into
go right ahead. I mean, I'm for it. I mean, I'm just saying like how society is. Like, of course, you look down the street and you see a person smile a certain way, they got their reparation. Typically people get robbed or whatever the case may be. But
at the base, I guess we go all the way down. First of all, it's not going to happen. First of all, it's not going to happen. Second of all,
I agree. I don't think it's going to happen.
Second of all, if it was by some, I don't even know if I would call it a miracle, by some,
it would be a miracle.
yeah.
Oh, it would definitely be a miracle.
If it happens somehow, it's not going to change anything, because people are going to continue doing what they have already been doing.
Yep.
They're going to blow it.
I agree.
A lot of the times. Now, one thing I do hate doing is treating black people as a monolith. I know that they're all not going to do the same thing.
Don't.
I know you don't. That's why I'm going to give mine first and then let you go in your tirade that you're gearing up for. I can hear it. I can hear he over there revving the engine now.
Y'all can't see his facial expression.
Yeah. So there's going to be people that's going to blow it and it's going to go right back into the system. And then there's going to be people that do something with it and and possibly turn they family life around for the better.
Robbery's
Now
going to spike. People,
and that's something that's definitely going to happen as well. But on the idea of reparations, I don't think anybody who is alive today has done or been through anything comparable to what the slaves have been through, and the couple generations after, what they had to do, to get some semblance of equal rights. So that being said, the people who deserve those reparations are all dead. Now, if they were still alive, that would be I think I would feel differently. Those people would be the ones that deserve those reparations. Now, like I said, we ain't did nothing to deserve some reparations. I ain't never got whipped, and forced to pick cotton and all of that stuff. So why should I reap benefits off of the back of somebody else as far as, monetarily?
But people in the comments watching this video right now, they're gonna be like, "No," they're gonna be saying,
I understand that there are things that have trickled down to us. Like I had came across this epigenetics thing, and I in looking into that, I have found that trauma can be passed down genetically. From the few hours of research that I've done, trauma can be passed down genetically. So I understand that, our ancestors going through what they went through has had, a trickle effect on the generations that are alive now. However, there is a level of accountability that we have to start taking and in, changing those things. And I don't think reparations is going to be the magic wand that makes everybody start, changing their mindset and start trying to be, better people. The ones who are not already that, I should say. So I don't think there's any. I'm not turning down no check.
I'm not turning no check, but it just I do need to say, I do a little bit of history research. For those, some of you probably in the comment section are probably gonna say something. Some of the people that were black and owned slave, they did own the slave in order to protect them, so they won't have to go through that scrutiny. But again, that's how business was done back then. I don't think we'll ever see a movie that shows that will show only black slave, because how society is and how they want to have us see a certain image of ourselves. Like all these movies that you see of slavery is always going to be one way: white owning black slave. Like we're never going to see any history about the Saharan slave trade, where you see the Arabs when they owned the slave and they had them walk across the Saharan desert. That's a whole another
how
thing.
about the Barbary pirates?
Yeah, like
we actually had white slaves.
Yeah,
they were black people.
We're never going to see that. So
slavery wasn't invented by.
And it wasn't. So hey, let me toss this in here right quick. If you want to talk about reparations that are really pissing a lot of people off, how about you go back to Africa and have them pay reparations? Because I'm tired of people talking like white people got on the boat first time over there in Africa, was able to traverse the jungle, run through it, and capture all these black people and get them back to the boats and bring them over. That is not what happened. We were sold by other Africans because that's what the game was back then. So
that's
the fact
was already happening.
Right, it was already happening.
It's still something going on right now in Africa.
Yeah,
in some parts deep in the tribal area in which society is not allowed to visit. It's still something going on right now. I'm not saying I know that for a fact, but based on some of the information out there, it's still going on. Yeah.
But if you want to talk about the cause of it and who owe us what, it's like, okay, so basically United States, like you said, it was already happening. So it wasn't like black people were the first slaves. That's just impossible because, slavery has been going on since, again, mankind existed. So the fact of being like, okay, these people owe us money because they used our labor that they paid for because we were sold off by our own kind, and somehow like, okay, after all these years, it's like y'all owe us because y'all tortured us. Everybody in the history of this planet, just as a heads up, has been tortured. I don't care who you are. Every nationality, every ethnic group has been tortured. They've been slaved. They've been there. Nobody has ever made it out on this planet even with white people. They captured and tortured each other. So that whole thing is about getting paid reparations, like you said, for something that we didn't go through. None of us have witnessed it, regardless of the trauma that we suffered after that. Again, that you said is like, hey, that should have been self-correcting. That should have been a group of people getting together and like, okay, we've been had, then let's get back on the boat and go back to Africa. That's what what's that? Marcus Garvey. He was trying. It's like, so why didn't we do that? It's like
Libya. Was that I think it was Libya.
I think so. But you had an exit plan that didn't nobody follow up on. So my confusion to this and always have been, if as a people want to complain so much about the system or the environment that you're in, it's like, why don't you get up and leave? You had an opportunity after slavery was over to get up and leave, but somehow, we built this. No, you didn't technically build shit. You put some labor into it, but in terms of the ideas, the schematics, the mathematics, and all that other stuff that comes with building things, you had nothing to do with it. You were the free labor. So don't get it twisted. You're not owed anything, especially this generation. It's not owed anything for what your ancestors got put through. And again, it's like the reason that you were put through it was because you were sold by your own kind. Now, that may sound harsh, but it's the truth, and people can argue it until they actually go do and have a history lesson, but it is what it is. Do black people deserve reparations? No. They deserve to get up off their butt and survive like everybody else who had been through slavery survived. It's like, quit complaining about stuff. And again, it's like, what really irks me is like, dude, why are you still here? If this is so bad, if it's so, people owe you so much and you don't, again, with the skin in the game comment, it's like you're not owed anything. Go to where it's better. I would never go to a restaurant and the waiter comes over and the first thing he do is spit in my water and then ask me, what do I want? Like, I'm getting up out of there. But somehow people, why you spit in my water? I deserve to be here. No, you don't. You don't deserve to be in there.
Yeah, you may especially if they're telling you and they're right in your face. Up,
yeah,
time
get
for
out.
me to go.
Go leave.
Because you get some people that are of the mafia tribe, and then they'll come over there and politely tell you, "Hey, we need you to leave up out of here."
Yeah, escort you up out of
and
there.
they'll escort you up out of there.
But I'm sorry, but it's just that mentality of that somehow you deserve something. And one more thing, real quick, is that with black people and this whole black people are gonna come together and somehow be a part. That those days are done. That's a dream to sit there and be like, somehow we're gonna make it back to the 60s where black people were united and had some type of goal or motion to achieve. It's like those days are gone. It's like that. So that whole process of like we'll overcome. I was looking at the numbers recently, and back in the 60s, black people were the second. We were number 2 in terms of minority popularity. And white people, then blacks, and then other. And now we are down to number 5. So that means within 60 years, like, other people have come to this country and they multiplied and built to the point now where we're number 5, and we couldn't get anything done when we were number 2. So an example is this Zoran Mandani in New York. Here he is. He's a Muslim. So if he comes to New York and he's a Muslim and now he's bringing all of his Muslim buddies because that's who backed him in this election, where do you think that does for black people in terms of their votings or them getting anything out of the system now? Because now everybody's going to go to him. because especially the Muslim community, because there's some hustlers too. So they're going to be like, man, this is a free ride. Well, it ain't a free ride in New York, but it's some money up in New York we can go get now. And again, that pushes the black population down even further, because now they're, whatever it is that they're crying about, it's not going to be listened to, especially by a mayor that is quoting, Quran scriptures and stuff. That doesn't put you in the lineup.
It doesn't.
So it's like, so now that we are constantly being booted down the list, it's like, even if they did get reparations, like you said, it'll go right back, into the economy the next day, because it doesn't change the mindset. The money is not going to change the mindset of how people operate.
Yeah, because even now, like, I still hear people say the government owes reparations, but the government never owned slaves. They employed slaves through slave labor, through the slave bastard. And some of y'all probably gonna say, oh, well, George Washington had slaves. Like, George Washington inherited his slave from his father prior to him becoming president. Somebody gonna say that in the comments, but the government never owned slaves. Like, that's how business was done. But I'm not trying to make light of slavery, but then
you can't apply today's morality to history, because it's like, that's the way of the world. That's the way the world was. Like, it's like, can you go back to you can do that with anything. Like, you can go back to Egypt and be like, hey, y'all enslaved all these people to and force them to build these pyramids, and like, that's contested whether or not it was slave labor or skilled labor. But regardless, it's like, you can go to any era throughout history and apply today's morality to it and say that it was wrong. But that's the way that the world worked at that time and period.
Right.
But somebody gonna say, well, it's that control mechanism, or that's
like, we've evolved past those times, and majority of us have evolved past those times, and it's just like, I'm like, how long do we have to continue to look backwards to
well, it's not. I don't think it's us. I think it's controlling the narrative, what they only want us to think about. I'm not saying reparation never going to happen. I think someday it's going to happen, but
I don't think it's ever going to happen.
You want to sing a spiritual, Negro spiritual?
No, we ain't.
One day, give them reparations.
Yeah,
it'll be, because I was watching an interview with Charlemagne the God and Ben Shapiro, and he was explaining how the Holocaust survivors were getting reparation from Germany to Israel or something like that, but they've been paying like $4 billion a year, but it's not going to the citizens, it's going to the government there.
The state of Israel?
Yeah, the state of Israel, and how it's building up the country itself, but the Holocaust survivors, like as you say, none of the Holocaust survivors are actually getting that funding. It's going to the the state of Israel, but it's not necessarily going to those people that are still alive. Like, but would you still apply that same idea to black people? Like how you said, like none of them are alive. Like none of them been through that. Who would the money go to?
I mean, I think it's very different, because Israel, Jewish people, they went out and started their own land. And they created a place for them. They was like, hey, don't nobody want us, so we over here.
Yeah.
Whether or not it originally belonged to them or not is irrespective of the point. The point is, they were getting persecuted all over the world for any and every little thing. Everything was getting blamed on them. So it was like, okay, cool. Well, we're gonna find our own spot, whether or not it was justified or not. They were getting persecuted all over the world.
Well, finding your own spot is be like, hey, look, we found the spot and there's nobody over here. They didn't find the spot.
There's no such thing. It's no such thing.
Well, in this particular case, then
goes for the United States of America.
Yeah, and that's cool.
There's no such thing as finding a spot.
Right. Well,
they
did
of your own.
Right. Well, they didn't find their spot. So what happened to them, I would say, would be completely different from what happened to black people, because they were displaced by war and they were dealing with a genocidal maniac that wanted them wiped out. So their reparations would seem justified, seeing how they were displaced by a war.
Yeah, but
And-
that wasn't my point. At least I was just saying
Yeah.
that when he was asking where would the money go to, and I feel like that's what separates
Like-
the thing, because like the people, majority of the survivors of the Holocaust are not alive anymore. There's still a lot out there.
There's some.
But the majority of them aren't there. Aren't alive anymore. So where do their reparations go to? They go to the state of Israel, the Jewish state that I would assume that they would, use those funds to do the, whatever they can to make the best life for, Jews overall in the Jewish state. We as Black people don't have a centralized place for, for
I
money
agree.
like that to go to.
It's called Black Lives Matter.
Well, another one of them got arrested. You see all the
that
you see
was
all
a
the
joke. I was trying to get a laugh, but y'all was really
Because it was
heartbroken.
like we all like
yeah, like
Right, sure.
another one of them got arrested for fraud and mishandling money. Like it is really trickling down. With
I
the
mean, that
organization.
doesn't come as a shock. I knew that was a fraud the second they announced it.
Yeah, that's not. That's what I had alluded to when you had brought up George Floyd. I'm like, it shouldn't be about him specifically.
be
It should
about-
be about the things, the incident, and it shouldn't be about a particular movement that piggybacked off of this, the death of this person. To start, pulling in money and
Black
putting
Lives
it-
Matter made
putting it wherever they wanted to put it.
In their pockets.
Right.
in their pocket, buying $1 million houses. It didn't go to none of the people that need it.
Yeah,
At least,
but my point being
you
is
know.
it's like we don't have that right now, and
we
then
don't.
like and the likelihood of us ever developing that is extremely low. It's like we don't have a Black Wall Street anymore. We don't have Bronzeville like back in the was it 60s. No, that was earlier than that. Like when Bronzeville was.
Yeah, Brownsville go back to like the 40s
Yeah.
because they had
Yeah, it's like
that transition.
places like that don't fully exist. Places like that just don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Where we could, possibly, like I said, in some world where reparations miraculously happen, and like there's no place for something like that to go to.
somebody
That we
gonna
could
complain
trust to
about it.
actually do something with the money that would benefit the majority of.
You get a
Black
pimp
folk.
to handle the account.
Got a pimp named Slickback.
Yeah, that's why we Black folks in the position they in now. Get such and such to do it. That's my cousin, and then all of a sudden you ain't got no money.
Yeah.
Where the money go? Where the money go? All right. I'm not sure if we at the end of the road on this one.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really have too much more. to say.
Yeah.
So you did mention we were talking about AI earlier. What do we think how do we think AI is going to blend into just society in general? When I say that, I'm prefacing it off of how good these video generators are getting, and how will we be? Because right now we're still able to find little bitty like mistakes or like artifacts in a video where it's like, okay, that's AI, but they're getting better day by day. So how would in by next year, how do you think society is going to be able to deal with not knowing whether or not a video is AI or real?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I got tricked a couple of times. With AI. I'm like, why? Like you said, with the little glitch toward the end, and it made me realize, oh, this is AI. Or then I think you have some of the stuff for these algorithms that will tell you, hey, this video is AI generated by such and such, or whatever. But I think
that part out though.
I think right now that it's coming out in such a way, we even see it in the music world. I know you shared the video about some of the move bitch, get out the way in the 1940s. Like I even downloaded some of the 50 Cent like 1960 Mini Man. It's just amazing.
That was
dope.
Mini Man was actually dope. I listened to that a couple of times.
Like even the I think the Rick Ross Every Day I'm Hustling, that shit dope as hell too. Like you got to let it dope as hell. But I think now is a hot time to make money off it because they just gonna regulate it. Then you can't make money off of it no more. Likeness gonna come into play. You can't use my music to do this. I think now is the time to make money off of it.
But I mean, I'm not necessarily business aspect because we already know how that's gonna go.
Yeah,
but as far as just how we interact with social media, with content, like how society, how that affects society, just taking in, receiving a video and not being able to tell whether or not it's real or not.
That's on its way, and
I think they're gonna pass. I think they're gonna pass a law that have to tell you because then it could be misleading. I know we already see all the scam videos. Like just wait until the scammers really get into it. We already see it with our cell phones where we get called from, hey, this is your information got leaked. We know you got a bank account with Bank of America. This is our teller. Your account been hacked.
Even more worse than that. They've. I can't confirm if this was actually something that actually happened or if it was a scenario that somebody in that world posed. But they were saying like they've gotten it to the point where if they with enough data mining, it's like people already know. Like pretty much your data get leaked and you can find out, people's relations. So it's like somebody can find out who your mom is. They can find out that just like you're her son and they, just have you guys' names together. Then they can go and look at any video that you've uploaded of yourself, get your voice and manipulate it. They somehow get your mom's phone number and be like, call your mom and be like, hey, mom, it's me. I'm in a jam. I need $2,000 real quick because, X, Y, and Z. Can you send it to me real quick, please? I'm going to give you the bank information and all that other stuff. And she'll hear that and be like, this is my son's voice. I know my son's voice. It may not be his phone number. He may be calling me off of, another phone number, but I'm sure they'll think of that and be like, hey, this is why I'm calling you off this phone, blah, 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 blah. And then your mom's out of $2,000 because she heard call her and tell her that you were in a jam and you needed $2,000 for something.
Yeah, that can be done.
No, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I saw it with somebody was doing a Skype video pretending to be Taylor Swift, and somebody did it where they was pretending to be Sydney Sweetie. Is that her name? Something like that.
Sweeney.
Yeah, and they was like, hey, tip me $50, and they were doing it. And then some people started to realize and say in the chat, that ain't Taylor Swift.
I don't know if I got real sympathy for them people.
Oh,
I'm just like,
give money. Yeah, well,
give your money away real quick. Let me
think Sydney Sweeney is sending you a message for $20.
Man,
come on, dog.
I would like to think she would send me a message for $20. I mean, why you gotta rain on my
like? Come on, dog.
But you know how some people get starstruck so quick. You see all the scams going on with. I think it was a video that was going out around about LeBron James talking about, hey, send me your Cash App, and the video was so manipulated it would read the your comment you made and say your name, like, how you doing? See, hey, I see you right there. I see you watching the video. Send me your Cash App link. I'm gonna send you some money. But then you get that Cash App link. Hey, I want to make sure you a real person. I want you to send me back $5 first before I send it to you. That was a real big thing that was going on around, and it was insane.
And I would say how smart the AI is becoming, because it's still in its growth process, and you got to look at it in terms of how long has AI really been out, that you can remember that you first started hearing about AI. Maybe how many years has it been? 3 years? About you? About 3? Because I think it's been about 5 that AI has become a topic.
That may be more accurate.
Yeah, but even with the cell phone, the military had the cell phone way before we even got cell phones.
Yeah.
Like it was just.
This is something that has been let loose out into like society to learn. It's not about so much that AI is an actual thinking brain yet, because there's still possibilities that we just haven't gotten to it.
Yeah,
and
at this point, it's still a response type of thing.
Right, but they have what they call quantum computing, and when it's broken down, it's really no different from a thought process of a human. It's like, think about it, it's like we're based off of things that we were told and that we learned, so we have no originality about us. We regurgitate the things that we heard somebody else say or that we came across. And how is that any different from AI? It's like it does the same thing, except it does it a lot faster and it can learn a lot more. So if it's just responsive, it's like, well, we're just responsive. We just see it differently because we believe we have a soul and all these other things about us. But in terms of actually gaining knowledge to become something more, then AI would right now be a 5-year-old with the abilities that it has. And what 5-year-old do you know that can shut down industries and replace over millions of people with their jobs? So within the next 5 years from now, it would have learned that much more and become that much better. And an example was that they were showing that video of Will Smith eating spaghetti.
Yeah.
And up until now, Will Smith eating spaghetti. And you'd be like, hey, Will Smith at a restaurant eating spaghetti. He was like, why are they showing this? Be like, oh, that's AI.
Yeah.
So it's like, think of it again as 5 years, then it'll be a 10-year-old with the abilities that it have. And they're constantly making more progress with it with Elon Musk and Grok 4. But when they nail this quantum computing thing, oh, it's a wrap. It is.
It's just I think it's still more of a collecting information as well, because
it's basically a big ass hard drive.
Because we see people like I see people online using it to clear up their credit scores. I see them using online to use it to beat like cases in law firm just to send stuff to the other lawyer.
Market.
Like, man, like that is.
I did it. I wrote out a business plan, an outline, and an app outline. And it took me less than 10 minutes because I already knew what it was that I was looking for. And I just plugged it up. I did a detail, what I wanted the business plan to cover, what some of the main points of it. And it spit out an 8-page business plan. Now, not to say that business plan is perfect, but it gave me a good enough outline that all I had to do was go back and scratch out what was needed and what's not. But me doing it would have took a couple of weeks. It took about
I did the same thing.
30 seconds.
I did the exact same thing. I'm like, I was able to, like, I've got to the point where I was like, hey, look, this is what I want to do. I want you to ask me questions about I want you to think of everything that I need to know, or I need to have answers to, or that you need information from me to give you the ability to, map out, what it is that I want to do. So ask me those questions so that I can answer them. And then once I give you the answers to those questions, use my answers to formulate, the plan to do what it is I want to do. And it's like, it does that. It gives me like 10 questions like, hey, how do you feel about this? Do you want to do this or this? Or do you want to have it more like this? Is this the kind of tone you want, or do you want it to feel more like this? I just answer those questions, and then it spits out what it exactly it is I needed to do. And it's just, I'm like, yo, at this point, it's like there's no way that you can say I can't do something.
Right.
At this point.
Yeah.
Because it's like all you need is a phone with internet access and some apps, and you can pretty much do whatever it is that you want to do as far as, acquiring knowledge. And then at that point, all you got to do is just put in the work to get it done.
Yep. I agree, because it's all based off of information. And if you got information with a tool like AI, it's like, again, you just being lazy. Because somebody going to ask me like, hey, yo, you want to come through next Saturday? Man, nah, I'm going to space. I just built this rocket. I got the kit through Amazon.
So what you guys
But what did next come on?
Go ahead.
Because I know the whole thing with Martin Luther King giving out wrestling promos. Like, do you think like? Because somebody was explaining to me how they can use that in the music industry, and they can have like people pop up on a hologram and have them actually recital like some of the music.
ABBA did that,
like for a concert and stuff like that. Like
ABBA did a concert and wasn't even there.
Really?
Yep, it was AI 3D hologram images, and some of the people didn't even know it until they was told, like, "Oh no, that wasn't ABBA, that was the hologram." Like, you didn't read your ticket. They like, "Oh, we thought we just saw ABBA."
And then nowadays, like how we were talking the other time with the movie, like they put them in a movie and then you can,
Oh yeah, that's a wrap.
Yeah.
They just signed the first AI artist.
Tilly Norwood.
Who?
I don't know if that's her name.
Tilly Norwood. Hollywood is dead.
It's a lady. No, not I'm sorry, music artist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's got a record deal. I think she's a poet. So she writes lyrics or whatever for a song, and then she speaks to the AI so it gets her voice or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And then she, tells it what kind of tempo, what kind of beat, and she makes songs. And then I think somebody was interviewing her and was like, "Hey, so you don't think that this is, kind of, wrong or whatever?" She was like, "Because you can't sing. So how do you have a record deal for making music and you can't sing? Like, you can write these songs, you could be a writer, but your record deal is based off of being a music artist."
Well, I mean, that's throughout the history of recording.
Well, it's not the same as auto-tune, because she's not even singing.
No. But
everything is completely generated by the computer. She's not doing any type of thing other than.
What type of royalties would she be getting?
Well,
Like,
that's the question.
Yeah.
Like, how do you get paid off of this? What amount of work should you get credit for?
You know what
versus
I thought of?
the AI computer program that you
But
use.
that's no different from going through the music industry. You had a ton of people that wrote music that couldn't sing. But
No, that's different. That's why I said you can be a writer. Like, you can get, be a music writer. Like, look at Usher. He didn't write, how many people he didn't wrote songs for.
Yeah.
But it's like, there's a difference between being, you getting paid and you getting signed as a writer versus you getting signed as the actual artist, the musical artist. But I don't even think it's her. I think it's the actual AI persona.
But they created an image of her, right? I'm sorry. They created, the AI created an image of what you would look like, or it's actually her.
I don't know that part. But I just know that she's not, it's not her singing. It's not even her being auto-tuned or pitched up or pitched down or key changed.
So are you saying that you have an issue with her getting paid for?
I don't have an issue with it. I'm just saying I think that's what the question is, and how that translates to the artist who actually can sing and actually do sing.
I think that's no different from any other industry that gets replaced over time.
Yeah, but you can't have an AI generated artist that has no physical body, that doesn't exist, and get
How do you
millions of
perform?
records.
How do you perform?
Sure you can, through the hologram thing. Like I said, with the ABBA concert.
I don't think people would, because you
went and saw this ABBA concert.
Like you said, they didn't know.
Well, I'm sure
that's
somebody
a real person,
knew,
right? I'm assuming that's a real person you're talking about.
ABBA is a group.
It's a group.
Yeah, it's
a group.
From back in the day, but people still went to this concert.
I think it's a novel thing. I think after a couple years, people will be like, "Am I really fucking paying to listen?"
But what's the difference of going to? Let me ask this: so you go to see an artist, and say for whatever reason, it's the normal thing. Do you think people would be more happy sitting there waiting for somebody that shows up 2 hours late to a concert? You sitting there, you waiting, versus everything being done on time at 8 o'clock. You out by 9:30 or however was the artist position. It's not going to be a real difference than seeing Patti LaBelle up on the screen if AI does just as good as job.
I don't think so.
But
people that go to concerts, they enjoy the fact that they are in the presence and they're in the room.
Because you don't think, look at these Chris Brown concerts, how much money they spending for these meet and greets for $1,000, $2,000 just to take a picture with him.
Oh yeah,
like that nostalgia of I want to meet him, or I ran into him downtown, or
I think it's a big difference.
Yeah, I think it would be
people who actually care about music and not just consuming it just from
Well,
just like
and then
a purely consumer.
Well, if that's the case, then you're talking about the generation that's going to be involved in that. And I think the novelty aspect of going to see an artist is going to die with the people that wanted to go see an artist. So if you're old school and you enjoyed somebody from back in the day and you want to go see them, that may not apply to the newer generation because they're going to grow
I
up.
think it definitely does. You
But
look at
if
Taylor
they're-
Swift's audience. Taylor Swift's audience has been 13, 14-year-old girls since she came out.
Right, and that's been it's been over a decade now. But that's her generation and her fans. So if you to take this new generation,
But I'm saying
coming
they're
up,
still the same age. So it's like the 13-year-olds that grew up, they're listening to her, but still now the new 13-year-olds are still listening to her. Yeah,
13
absolutely.
Well, I mean, if they
She's
are
the
that,
most streamed musical artist in history.
Well, it's
And
not
it's
a
only
bunch of
going
them.
up.
It's only Taylor Swift that's pulling numbers like that. But after Taylor Swift fanfare dies down, they're going to promote the new AI artists. And then that generation will be geared more towards listening to AI music more so than anybody live or person that's going to be established. So they won't have those people there to be fans of and go to see anyway. It's
I
going to
don't think
be
that's going to be
geared.
sustainable though,
Yeah,
monetarily, because as we know, artists don't really make money off of their songs. Like when they record a song and put it out and it's going on Apple Music or whatever, they don't make money off of that. They make money when they go on tour and they on stage. And
Even with the the streaming now, like artists are still trying to figure that out. Like when that's going to get fixed, where you get 1 billion stream, but you only get like so little money amount.
like $2,000.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like they
like-
don't make money off of the music.
And
They
so-
make money off of the performance.
Okay.
And I don't think that I just can't picture enough people being willing to consistently go to see something that they know is not real and is not even, it's never been real, consistently to make it financially smart over like a career, a longevity wise career. Is like you would have no choice but to, I feel like it'd be completely novel. It'll just be a novel thing that'll last for 5 years maybe, and then
I would say this from a bad guy perspective. If I was in the music industry and I'm an evil AI mogul, this is what I would do. Of course, like you said, right now artists are broke. They're outside of Taylor Swift and a few others. There are no real money making art music people in the industry. If you know, you can tell me. But outside of Taylor Swift, I'm like, who's really out there? Beyonce's not selling the concert, so her shelf life, that's limited. Whatever rapper you want to name right now, it's like that's going to be limited. Nobody's going to be going to see Beyonce in 10 years. She's not going to draw. She's not going to pack
human.
Exactly.
Human longevity.
Right. But exactly. But now who's going to come up behind that? If you have to contend with not making the type of money that you were making back, say 20 years ago when you were out selling CDs and then you got paid versus now you're saying that over 1 million streams and you're not even breaking $2,000. So how would a music artist even be able to stay in business compared to if you go to Suno right now? And that's a website where you can just type in any description of any song that you want to have created. And within 2 minutes, you got 2 versions of it. So if regular artists can't compete on something like their streams on the streaming platforms now, how are they going to compete when you can create something in a matter of minutes that take no production cost? It takes no time to do it. You don't have to have a studio back. You don't have to go through any other red tape that you would normally have to go through to produce a single or album. All that is gone now. So how is an artist going to be able to compete with that, say 5-10 years from now? And if me personally, I'm thinking about it, I'm going to create an artist for every genre that it is and just whatever it is. I don't honestly care if it sells or not, because what did I lose in the process? What, $50 a month for a subscription to one of these art platforms versus going to actually pay somebody with their attitude and their artist creativity and all this other crap? I was like, I don't have to deal with your attitude. I can go make up an attitude and don't pay it anything.
Yeah, but I still think the publishing and people emotion and the nostalgia and the just getting butterflies in your stomach when you go do meet and greets Like, I mean, even it's not just down to artists. It's like it's down to wrestlers, like football,
Anything,
basketball.
any live event.
Like it just.
Any live event.
I don't think that feeling. If society were to lose that feeling, I can't. I'm going to go see my favorite wrestler. Oh my God, he's right there. I can see him across the curtain. Or my favorite music person, or my favorite football player, or basketball player. Like to take that away, that would be.
I don't think it's gonna be, like I said, I don't think it's monetarily sustainable, because I think what you're overlooking is the type of people who go to these things. The type of people who go to these things. First of all, look at the amount of money that they're spending. It's like you may get lucky and find like, you know, a sale or something for like $80 to go, you know, see like you know, an artist at a small venue or something. You may get a sale, you know, on Ticketmaster or you know, whatever you go to. But for the most part, when they're doing these concerts and stuff, these tickets are, you know, multiple $100s. And it is on top of that is like people probably took off work to go to this thing. You probably got a babysitter. They, you know, or, you know, any amount of the amount of investment that they're putting in, they're not going to pay that amount of money to just listen. They're going to be in the vicinity, be in the same area as this person that experienced this, you know, this person. And those type of people are doing that. Is a certain type of people that are willing to do that. And if you're not that type of person, or now I feel like the person who, you know, would just be willing to just go ahead and just listen to like AI music or whatever, it's like they're not going to spend that type of money to go and watch somebody push a button. Like it's not even like it's even below going to see a specific DJ or something. It's like, because even with a DJ, you know, you're still interacting with a human, even though you may be hundreds of feet back or whatever. It's still an interaction. It's still a presence. It's still a feeling that people get. And that is where all the money is. I'm like, they're not, like you said, they're not making money off of you know, the production of the actual song and people streaming and listening to it. So it's like, yeah, somebody would be able to push a button to type in a prompt and spit out a hit song in 20 minutes. Total time that it took for them to come up with it and all of that stuff. You can spit out a hit song in 20 minutes and go put it on the radio, but the amount of money that you're going to get from that is not going to be the same that you would get from, you know, the contracts that you have and the fees that you would get from a live artist that goes out and does performances and stuff.
You know what?
It's just not even comparable, because people who want to go to a concert, they want to be in the presence of a person. They're not going to go to a concert to listen to an AI artist.
Okay, but if
a hologram.
If you take that, what you just said, and say like, okay, that's for, say, this current generation, but 10 years from now, that may not be the case. It might be the crowds will be smaller. And again, it's like, then who are you going to go see at that point? If you can generate AI generated music, and those new people that listen to those new fans they're used to it now. Just like no different from kids growing up on TV versus kids growing up with tablets now. Back in the day, you had 3 channels you had to switch to, and people were like, "Oh yeah, TV is the shit. This ain't never going anywhere." It's like, but no, it's like kids are coming out the womb with like, where you get that cell phone? It was in the belly when I was in there. Like somebody must have dropped their phone in there.
So, but what would there be to get from that? From going to a concert of an AI
it may not be a thing in the future. To
and that's my
generation.
Point. So if there's no concerts, then that's all the money. That's 90% of the money is just gone. Only revenue that they would be getting from their music would be the radio plays and the downloads. Yeah, and we already know that that's minuscule as it is.
And that would be beneficial again. If you look at the numbers, the only reason where a lot of these artists go out on concert, that's to make their money. That's not to make the industry money. That's because the industry already stole their money when they cut the album.
I just thought about right before you said that.
Yeah, so that's more for the artist. But if the industry has any control over that, then it's like they don't care what the artists make on the outside as long as they're making it on the inside. And if they make up an artist using AI, again, you're still saving money, because that's one more person that you cut out the pie, and that would be that artist. I don't have to deal with their shit. I don't have to deal with their attitude. I don't have to wait for them to create something. I don't care if their voices go bad. So you're eliminating an expense just by having AI created and doing the work of the artist. And if it comes to the point where society or the fans at that point is listening to more AI, if you are a live artist, say Taylor Swift does another 20 years being Taylor Swift, I can't see Taylor Swift packing Soldier Field 20 years from now, because it's like that fan base isn't going to be there. People not going to be excited. It's not going to be that, I need to go see her. And then that generation, again, like I said, is going to be brought up on something completely different. So they're not even going to be interested. It's just like movies now. Movies are losing so much money, it's ridiculous because of streaming. Nobody go see movies anymore. And that was one of those things where I first heard it, I thought like, nah, that's ridiculous, because we were going out to see a movie like every other couple of weeks. An Avengers movie drop out. We like first in line to go see it because of the experience. But I can't name you a movie that's come out that I have any interest and going to get the girls together and be like, hey, we got to go see this. Let's go see this movie. There hasn't been one since. When did Avengers come out? That was 2019.
The last one, Avengers, Black Panthers, like.
Well, the last Endgame.
Oh, the Endgame, yeah.
Yeah. I didn't even go see Black Panther movie at that. I was like, I had no
stream.
But do you think it's?
I think that's more of a testament to the crap quality of movies that they're putting out.
No different from the crap quality of music. It's like,
yeah.
Like there's no different in music. I haven't listened to a current hip hop till you was having me listen to what's his name?
What's that new rapper name? Little Pots and Pans or something? I heard.
No idea. That's his name for real? Little Pots
I
and
don't
Pans?
know. I be here.
I'm not. You know what? I would say 10, 15 years ago.
Bang on the pots and pans, my nigga.
10, 15 years ago, I'd be like, shut up. But
Yeah,
I'm
you
like, for real, that's his
hey.
name?
Because like the
Right.
same thing, but
It
do
might
you
be.
think?
Shit. That might be his name.
Do you
Pots
think
and
is
Pans.
I guess the ideal of, or giving a person the idea of a fulfillment? Because look at the Harry Potter books. Look at the Harry Potter books. Before the movies came out, them books was popping just on the ideal of you creating that idea in your head.
I read
what the vampire one?
Twilight.
Remember when they first cast Edward?
No, I don't remember anything about
I
Twilight.
do. That line was
Twilight.
I don't do Twilight either, but I saw the press conference when they cast him to play Edward. It was insane. Just the idea of what they thought he would look like. Just the idea of the book put in your head. Even Harry Potter, like every time they cast these characters for the next role or the next movie, it's just like, who's gonna play this? Who's gonna play this person?
Now,
then, as you say, it's a person there. You go meet that person, meet and greet. The idea that you may run it, he's in town, he's in London, I'm in London. I heard he was at the Starbucks across the street, or she is that.
That may be a little bit different because it's already on a screen.
But yeah, it's already on the screen. But it's just having that idea, because even now with some people, like your favorite wrestler, football player, athlete, it's just that idea that you may run into them, like who's the football player? I forgot it. The brothers. What the football?
Which one?
The top football quarterbacks. The
Peyton and Eli Manning.
Yeah, I seen so many videos online of them running into them. It's just like you see the excitement on their face. You think they will get that from? I don't think they'll get that from an AI generated person that doesn't exist.
It depends. Like you said, it depends on what the generation comes up is used to. Like if they're
you
used,
can't walk into Target and be like, "Oh my God, pots and pans!" Like,
first of all, if you oh my God, and that pots and pans,
I can't touch you. Oh my God,
over 30. Yeah, because I know I can look at a nice, good set of pots and pans and be like, "Damn, I want that." How much that is? But yeah, I don't know. I think you got a good point when you say like it depends on what the generation at the time is becoming accustomed to.
Yeah.
Because I'm like they'll just get them accustomed to, hey, there's no such thing as live concerts anymore, and it'll just be a thing.
Whew, that would be.
Or it'll be streaming. They'll stream whatever AI character that's on the, because when you bring up Hollywood and everything, that what is it? The Demon Hunters,
Demon Slayer. Oh yeah, I watched it.
Oh, Demon Slayer, but they got another one, the Pop
Chainsaw Man, I think I saw, or
it's Pop Star Demon Hunter or something like that.
that K-pop movie.
Yeah, there you go.
I know.
K-pop movie.
I saw it. I didn't watch it, but yeah,
Demon Hunter. But that's huge right
it
now.
is.
And
I ain't
it's
even watched
like-
it yet.
Yeah, it's an anime, but
Yes.
but that's huge to the point where they released it out in the theaters, and it was beating movies that were just released, like the Leonardo DiCaprio movie that had just released that they thought everybody was going to go see. But you know,
Demon Slayer is an anime though, right?
Yeah, but the anime
Demon
world
Slayer,
is
this is a new
completely
one called
yeah.
K-pop Demon or Monster Hunters or Demon Hunters.
I
or
forgot
whatever.
what it was called. I
Demon
know what you're
Slayers
talking
or
about. Yeah,
But it's
it's about a
K-pop?
girl group. It's about a girl group that comes in
Yeah,
and
it's
they're
an anime.
single, and it's an anime. It's like CGI, and they're. I don't know the plot because I didn't watch it, but I guess it's a girl group and then it's a guy group. But then the guy group is evil, but the girl group is good.
So,
but then
it's just an anime.
but it's like
Yeah,
an
it's-
anime,
it's
but it's
an
super
anime.
popular. But that
Yeah.
anime world is.
But yeah, anime world is nuts.
but
Like, they'll
it's-
go out and pay. they'll go out
Exactly,
and see
but and see that's just the thing. It's an animated kids in that generation are geared towards, and it outsold a movie with Leonardo DiCaprio in it, which you would be like, oh, ain't no Japanese anime gonna outsell Leonardo DiCaprio, but it did. So it's like, okay, they're not real, but Leonardo DiCaprio is. So if more people went and go see CGI versus him, then yeah, that kind of says.
But do you think that the movies industry is in the flux because of what's going on? You know, we had the writers issue, then we had the artist. I mean, the actors strike, then the artist strike, then all these things that went on. What it does goes on like almost every year.
Right, it's going to be another one too.
Yeah,
it
it's
ain't
gonna
gonna be no more because they're gonna be replaced by AI.
Right. That's what's
Yeah,
going to
but-
happen, but they are going to go on strike before that's done.
But do you have to sell your?
your?
Because I know it's some of these production studios are trying to buy people rights and images to where
Yeah, for
you
dirt
sell
cheap.
it. Yeah, for dirt cheap, and some people do it early on and see yourself in the movie. Grand Theft Auto 6
Yeah.
got
shit ain't
delayed
never coming
again, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
That shit ain't never coming down.
that shit ain't.
We was just talking about that today.
I already tried.
I think it was something going on where when people used to use these AI tools to make themselves in the cartoons or make themselves in the anime, a lot of people don't realize that you giving away your rights when you sign up for it, and then they sell your rights to these big video game companies or the productions or whatever, and then you see somebody that slightly look like you, and you're like, hey, I need my money. Like, no, we brought out this company and this app you use in which you sold your images, and you hit all the agree button. Now we own slightly of your images.
Yeah.
That's no different than what they've been doing with the data mining. Like every time you sign up for a new app or something and you put in your information, you hit the check mark. It's like,
Yep.
okay, cool. You just
You-
agreed for us to be
TikTok.
able to sell this to this company for X amount of money, and then
now
that's
it
how
goes
you
out of
get
business. Oh, yeah.
random ass spam calls calling your phone out of nowhere.
TikTok
Oh,
is
man.
the number one. TikTok has everything that you have on your phone. If you got TikTok, TikTok has it. And if you didn't read the contract, then you should go read the It's too late now, but you should go read the contract, because everything that is on your phone, if you read the fine print, TikTok has it. End of story. There's no debate about it. It ain't no turning your phone off and deleting shit. No, it already has it. And if you're not familiar with the data centers, are y'all familiar with the data centers that they're building?
You talking about the one where they're trying to use it as a central hub to collect all the data, the processing that it's something going on where they're creating a central data where everything is going to be put. I'm not sure if the one you're talking about, the one with the blockchain or the one with
these are not being tried. They are up and running, and there's over thousands of them in the United States right now. Each data center runs and processes enough information and electricity to run a small city on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So these centers are now popping up because they are extracting every bit of information throughout everywhere. And these are the private owned companies, not to mention the ones that the government actually has. So this on two different scales, that you have this amount of people with this amount of data in these amount of areas collecting data on you nonstop. So even if you have an app, like you said, when you click that OK button, you are giving away rights and so much that you have no idea that if they did start popping out games that had somebody likeness to you, well, that's in the disclaimer where it first came out on the video game that said, hey, if our names and our faces represent anybody, it's by complete coincidence.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you gave up those rights on TikTok so they can use it any way that they want to if that company purchased that from TikTok. So it's like basically,
you're right, because I think in the Grand Theft Auto first trailer, and you see I think the girl on top of the car, a dog or something. People were doing a side-by-side comparison of the Grand Theft Auto trailer and the real footage and where they pulled it from. You saw it? Yeah. I'm like, man, like some of these people will actually say, hey, I ain't give you the right, but it's just a random footage that you put up on TikTok. Or you put up on Facebook,
on the internet,
or you put it on the internet, and they're like, "No, we own the right. We can use this.
It's public domain at that point."
Yeah, it's just stuff like that. But that being said, where are we at on time, sir?
9:00.
But what's the recording time?
2:26.
All righty.
Real quick, one more. I want to.
Good Lord.
Just one more. This one.
God.
So, how long you think you're gonna hold out to get the brain chip?
I ain't doing it.
You wouldn't do it?
It wouldn't be compatible with my brain.
I ain't doing it. I don't think
Brain overloaded chip.
Your brain is too old.
Because I look at it as
Like the Neuralink thing.
I think it would lead into something else in which it'll just be another, privacy issue, violating my rights or whatever the case. Like, or you're not telling us something every time I think about, going to the grocery store, you're putting the ads up on my phone now, or you're putting it up on my TV screen, and you're not even telling me, like, what all these data breaches, like, could you imagine? I'm thinking about my social in my head right now. Now, all of a sudden, somebody has my social but I'm not sure as far as how far the brain chip goes. But
I don't know if they would be able to,
how
linked into the internet it would be.
Yeah.
But what about as far as quality of life? Like
what exactly would it
as
do?
far as so how they got right now they got the Neuralink in the I think they put it in the guide. He was a quadriplegic.
Oh, that's
I believe.
Oh.
Or maybe it might have been a paraplegic, but he's wheelchair bound and he had no feeling below a certain point or whatever, and all he could barely move his finger, but he had to control the computer with his eyes or whatever, but he could speak. They gave him the Neuralink, and now he's able to, wiggle certain parts of his body or something like
This
that.
really
or
happened.
he's able to communicate directly with the computer. So now it's not even, where the computer could make mistakes or whatever. It's like he could just thinks of something and then the computer does it.
Wow.
So what level of disability would you be?
I think it would be if we going that far. I think it would be great beneficial for the people that do have some type of disabilities. I'm not sure as far as physical disabilities or deformment or an uncurable thing. I'm not sure how that will work. But I know some of our brain waves can be used to process data as far as when you get a EKG or EEG or however all that works. If it can help some of the people that are disabled in some way, but I don't know how that would help if a person that has, they grow bumps all over their body. Would it help in that way? Would it change their DNA and how their body processes
CRISPR type stuff?
Yeah,
Right.
But
So
then you can't think about it in that way.
So you wouldn't get it just to be able to pull up Instagram without even having a device.
I don't know.
Pull it up and
I
just
still think it's
scrolling through.
a more of a way. Somebody gonna find a way to hack it, like just like AI now. Somebody gonna find a way to hack it, and
AI would probably hack it.
And man, it would just be. I think some of that stuff super advanced.
Well, you know what?
I think it's
It's
cool
like
as
that's
hell, though.
kind
I
of.
would never do it. It's cool
It
as fuck.
sounds
I
cool, but it also sounds like the introduction to the Matrix. Because if they're able to plug this up to your brain and give you the sensation, well, it's not giving you a sensation of anything, but you have control over, a computer or certain things. Like, well, how far is that from tapping into those sensors that make you feel things? because remember in the Matrix where Morpheus was asking Neo when he first got jacked in, he's like, well, if real is being something that you can taste, see, smell, or touch, then
You think that's air you're breathing?
yeah.
Oh my
Air
god.
you're breathing now.
Oh, that's gonna be. But what about like some of the people that are schizophrenic? Like, would it if we get that far?
I mean, that,
like,
I don't know.
That
That's
would
more
be.
of a chemical thing.
Yeah, it's more.
Or
Of,
you can give them
So,
lobotomize them.
Yeah. So we're going
But you
backwards
know-
in time now.
Hey,
Well, so what? But what about?
thick
Do
eggs.
you think that that's our next step of human evolution? Is to become?
I would say so.
Become merged with technology.
Oh, absolutely. The
oh,
singularity.
somebody gonna do it.
Yeah,
Not
because
necessarily a singularity, just biologically becoming biomechanical.
oh yeah,
Like,
I
is
do.
that the next? Is that our next stage of
Yep.
evolution?
I
I think so. I'm not gonna be the first. I'm not gonna be the test subject.
cyborg. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like
because
our robot. Like you
Man.
get in a tragic accident and they can just give you a cybernetic arm and
yep, I believe in it.
And you
Because
cool.
they got those already.
Yeah.
You see the girl with the.
well, I mean
the
that's not
arm?
that's actually I
But
seen
like
that.
fluid movement,
But
just
yeah,
like
it
that would
was.
be.
It
She could
looks and
disconnect
feels
her.
like a human arm. It looks and feels like a human
Yeah.
arm,
Yeah.
but it's got the strength of a
Yeah,
of a
she
cybernetic.
took the hand off. She had different like shit she could use for hands.
Yeah, but that will also open up into a whole nother market, like people selling. Like I'm finna sell you being high. Like you no longer have to smoke weed. I'm
Or
just
like
gonna-
that
I'm gonna-
was that movie with Forrest Whitaker, Repo Man?
Yeah,
Oh,
Where
yeah,
they
yeah.
had like all
Yeah.
types of you could just
Oh,
go buy
yeah.
some upgrades.
I
you
believe
get
that.
born, you need glasses, you can
It
go
was
buy some
the
eyeballs.
movie. It was oddly enough to say Keanu Reeves before he did Matrix. He did a movie called Johnny Mnemonic, and it was
familiar.
yeah, it was a movie based on technology to the point where you could upload information into your brain and transfer it. And that's what he was. He was like a courier where they would upload his brain with a certain capacity of information. And he was like a spy where he had to deliver it. And then they would download it from him. But it's still the fact that, yeah, they've been thinking about this for years. And now that the technology is caught up, I can literally see it. And back to the guy that's a paraplegic. So now Elon Musk, they got the new robots that are out, and they got they call them like they're like clean up your house. They're like maids, but they have an autonomous robot that can move around and pick up shit and do that. But there's somebody behind it driving it, like looking at a camera and a joystick.
Yes,
Is it-
I do. I do know what you're talking about. And
so it's like if they can do that from overseas, and a person that is paralyzed or whatever still can look at a screen and go through the robot to go get him a cup of coffee and bring the coffee back and drink the coffee. I was like, yeah, that'd be dope as hell.
But wasn't it creating the algorithm of that? It was creating what's the idea for the robot to go pick up the cup or go clean the dishes. Like it was creating that for the robot, so when it get asked that again, it knows exactly what that task is.
it know what the task is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
You
all
know.
interesting. I don't think I'll be signing up for no
Yeah, I ain't signing
anything
up.
like that. But they get you some new knees.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to that.
You get new knees if you can afford it.
If I'm getting some robot knees, then that's different from getting a chip.
If
in
you
the
can go
brain.
get you some robot knees right now,
hell yeah, I get the back, I get the whole combo jump off.
I would.
Like
What?
what? No back pain.
They
you
gonna
won't be worried
modify
about it getting
everything.
hacked.
They gonna modify everything. They gonna.
Like, what they
Everything
gonna make
has
you
its
do? Jump up and down a couple
everything
times.
has its concern. Shit, if I can get up without doing the
Shouldn't know. You know who needs it? Dr. Umar Johnson, so he can figure out how to get that school. Because
shit, we'll get reparations first.
Yeah.
I'm not attacking Dr. Umar.
I am that nigga. That dude that pisses me off. And then everybody always wondering why black people gonna do this. Black people ain't gonna do shit. And he the perfect example why black people can't do shit.
He loves
Because
him
you
a
always-
snow bunny though.
You always got somebody sitting there clowning for clout and rip people off. And that's just, it's pointless at this. And it amazes me the number of people that buy into it still and go listen and will donate money to somebody like this. That dude ain't no different from Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, any other hooligan, harlequin that's been out here preaching a message to black people on how you're going to uprise. And my question is now, it's like you be an idiot to send your child anywhere near some of the things that dude done said. I was like, so even if you do open a
there's people
school,
that's-
it's like you
there's
a
people that actually believe
dumbass that will send your kid to that school anyway based off of like who would want their child to learn anything from this person would be a dumbass.
Well, there's people that actually who think like him though. So I mean,
and that makes him a dumbass.
Sometimes,
yeah.
Sometimes he do be talking that good talk, but then he steer off so far. But I know I did a little bit of research, like 5 minutes. It has been estimated he got like $3 million, but he never owned the school in his hand. Like he never like had the deed. It always been up in limbo or something. But
from what I've seen, he just
Dr. Umar Johnson.
From what I've seen, it's always some kind of obstacle. So I mean, but that happens anytime.
Well, I just wanted enough time to call dude an asshole. So.
Oh man. All right, y'all. If you enjoy the show, like, comment, subscribe. We are way over time.
We out.
We are way over
Make sure
time.
you put your comments in whatever you got to ask, or you want to rebut whatever we said. Let us know. We respond. We
Except
check
for
the
me.
comments.
If you got something about what I got to say, then save it. I'm not gonna read it.
Yeah, it's like we'll
I
respond.
see those comments.
We'll read the comments. All right, y'all.
All right, later.